Hello, everybody. Welcome to UCLA Radio Sports. My name is David.
And I'm Shane Donovan.
Today, we're bringing you coverage of UCLA football against Nebraska, the inaugural game for UCLA Sports Radio. First game broadcasting football. Shane, what do you make of this matchup?
This is going to be a great matchup. Obviously, Loyola for Nebraska is out tonight, so the true freshman quarterback, T.J. Lateef from LA, will be making the start for Nebraska. It is going to be solely not on him. It is going to be solely on Emmett Johnson, the star running back for Nebraska tonight.
Yeah, Lateef went to high school at Orange Lutheran, so from the area back home, playing against the home team UCLA here at the Rose Bowl. Should be a good matchup as we get set for kickoff here.
The keys to the game will be the run game for both of these teams. Keep the pressure off of Nico. Nico's trying to do too much. We saw that in the Indiana game. He had no time in the pocket, was trying to do too much, and was making mistakes. Make it simple for Nico. Make it simple for Lateef. The team that can do that the best will win this game.
As we have kickoff here, UCLA set to receive. This one will go out in the back of the end zone. UCLA will start things off here. The Cornhuskers will get the ball to start the second half.
This is going to be a big test right now, those first drive. Can UCLA move the ball on offense? Running the ball, that is going to be their answer. Nebraska's run defense has been their weakness this season. Their pass defense, one of the top in the Big Ten.
Kind of a similar story for UCLA. The run defense really just has not been there. They allowed the most points in the Big Ten, the most yards, I should say, in the Big Ten per game. We get set here for the opening drive. Nico motions a man, takes the snap. We're going to keep this one on the ground, and that's just going to get blown up behind Nebraska. Not going to go anywhere with that one.
That's a great start for this defense. Penetration immediately made by that defensive line. Like I said, this game will be won in the trenches. So if Nebraska is able to keep this up, it's going to be a long night for the Bruins.
It was Javion Thomas, the transfer from Cal Berkeley, with the carry. We await second down. Thomas still the single back. Nico with the ball. He's looking to throw over to the right. That one's going to be complete for a short gain before being tackled out of bounds.
Yeah, it was a great tackle by Rick Guthrie, that leader on that defense. He's playing that safety position for almost a hybrid. They'll switch him around with that nickel position or that rover position in this 3-3 defense.
Here's Rico Flores Jr. on the reception. He's got 17. That's his 18th.
This is a big, big third down right now for the Bruins. This is going to be the tone setter for the rest of the game.
UCLA only 1 for 11 on third downs in that game against Indiana. Let me see if they can convert here. Nico wants to throw. This time towards the left, down the sideline. They're not going to get it.
That's a throw you've got to make.
Just overthrew his receiver by a bit. I think they might have been looking for a hold or pass interference, but they're not going to get it in. Special teams unit out on the field now.
A little bit of a miscommunication there. Nico wanted him to work out a little bit more to the outside, and it just wasn't there. Gilmer tried to get over top of that DB. Incomplete pass, fourth down.
UCLA on the punt now. It'll be Barney Jr. for Nebraska, and it's a muff punt. Still able to get it off.
Heads up play.
Brought in just past the 20-yard line, making his way before being tackled down on the 40.
That could have been disastrous for the Bruins. Will Carroll muffed the punt. It looked like it was a little bit of a bad snap. And he was able to recover it and still get it off. Now this is going to be a big test for this Bruins defense. A defense that stood up against Penn State, a very, very good team. They kept it close with Indiana today. However, they've looked a little shaky in the last two matchups, so we'll have to see how they come out tonight.
Penn State lost that game in the final moments. Indiana able to capitalize against them. They'll keep it on the ground here. Quarterback keeper And we're pushing out for a first down past the 50-yard line in the Bruin territory.
Latif's legs are going to be a big factor in tonight's game. This guy was one of the top quarterbacks as a dual threat coming out of high school. Like I said, played here at Orange Lutheran in Compton. He's very familiar with the area. He probably has a lot of family and friends that he wants to perform well in front tonight.
In his limited playing time, he has 16 completions on 19 attempts. That's good for 85.2% completion rate. He gets set for the snap here. This time a run up the middle. And that's going to be good for another Nebraska first down.
That was just great vision by number 21, Emmett Johnson. Like I said, Emmett Johnson is going to be a big factor in tonight's matchup. If he can just get downhill and get the yards instead of trying to dance around too much like he has in the past, he's going to be a big factor for their game.
Johnson, 175 attempts on the season, over 1,000 yards coming into this game. This time again on the ground. That was going to get snuffed out by the Bruins, good for a gain of about 2 or 3.
Johnson's coming in tonight as one of the top running backs in the Big Ten, right behind Justice Haynes for most of those players or people in the media.
That'll bring up 2nd and 7 for the Huskers. Latif motions a man over to the left. Play action, rolling out to his right. Fires over the middle, and he's got a man complete. That's good for another Nebraska first down.
Yeah, TJ Latif is playing perfect football right now. He's not asked to do too much right now. He's playing it simple. They're getting that ground game going, which allows him to roll out and allows him to have that option in the dump to dump it off to Johnson or take it himself.
Nebraska now in the red zone. 1st and 10 on the 15-yard line of the Bruins. Latif hands this one off up the middle. He's going to push the pile up about 5 yards.
Now what we're seeing here out of Nebraska is a lot of pre-snap movement. Nebraska loves to get this for one, to be able to check in the command zone, right? Allows the quarterback, eases his mind, he's able to read the defense better. But also to get that extra guy in there. They love motioning their tight ends on the inside run plays to allow him just to be a lead blocker.
2nd and 6 here. Ball on the 10-yard line. Bruins back up against their own goal line. Again, it's going to be a run. Got that one up towards the first down marker. We'll see where they put this ball.
And David, that was the same exact play that they had just run previously. Nebraska has a tendency to run the same play over and over again in the same drive. Today, don't fix it, am I right?
I mean, just how important is that run game going to be to help them set up the passing game?
It's everything. If you're able to establish a dominant run game in a football game, one, it takes the entire energy out of the defense. Two, it allows a young quarterback like Latif to get comfortable into a very, very, very hostile environment. That is the rules book.
He gave them the first down there. They're looking at a 1st and 5 on the 5-yard line. And that one's going to get snuffed out by UCLA. A big tackle there to limit any sort of gain.
Yeah, Gary Smith just got an immediate penetration. He was able to just stop Emmett Johnson right in his steps. Emmett Johnson leads the team right now with 10 touchdowns. And looks at another one right now.
Definitely going to be leaning on him in this game tonight with no Dylan Raiola. Latif motions a man, gets the snap. Again, a run up the middle. But UCLA not having it, they're going to get the stop there. It looked like a gain of about a yard.
What a terrific play by John Vaughn, just to come right off the edge. He's able to bypass the blockers. That, again, Nebraska motioned the tight end to come and chip it, but he was able to get right around it and stop him right in his tracks. It is now 3rd down from the 2-yard line.
On's the leading tackler on the team, also has the second most assists in the Big Ten, 47. They're looking at a big 3rd and 2 here to go. Going to throw it over to the right.
Is he short? Touchdown! Nebraska!
We'll take a look at this one more time, but quick throw over to the right by Latif. Looks like he was able to get that ball over the pylon.
A little bit of a pick play here, where you have your outside receiver come up and take out that corner, which allows the slot receiver to get out wide. Very similar to a play that you would see, like that Super Bowl play that Malcolm Butler made. A lot of times here on the goal line, what teams love to do is banjo those outside guys, where the slot receiver is taken by the corner, and the outside receiver is taken by that linebacker or that nickel corner. That pick play completely busted down. And it is a touchdown for the Cornhuskers.
Yeah, you mentioned Malcolm Butler. That time, that play worked out for the defense. This time it works out for the offense. Nebraska on for the extra point. Here's a snap. Kick is up and good. Nebraska with an early lead here, 7-0, as UCLA can't convert the 3rd down on their opening drive.
That is exactly what Nebraska needed to come out and do. Set the tone. Everybody's wondering, what is this team going to be like without Waiolo on their side? And the team came in and ran the offense perfectly. I don't know if he made a mistake on that drive. For UCLA's defense, this has got to be a wake-up call. You can see them on the sideline right now. The coaches are getting in their face and telling them that this cannot be the way that this game goes. That was a tone-setting drive, and Nebraska has taken all of the momentum.
We haven't really talked about it tonight, but UCLA with a somewhat new, still getting into their groove for the coaching staff. Started the year off with Deshaun Foster at head coach. Lost 4 in a row. Ended up going in a different direction. Tim Skipper as the interim head coach. Jerry Neuheisel calling the plays. And they won their first game. They beat the formerly number 7 ranked Penn State Nittany Lions. So here's the kickoff back to UCLA. This one, a touchback out of the end zone. But what do you make of Jerry Neuheisel and Tim Skipper so far in their short tenure so far as head coach and offensive coordinator?
We know it started off hot in that Penn State game, and the energy a little bit has died down. A lot of people were calling to make Jerry and Tim Skipper the head coach and full-time offensive coordinator. However, when there's guys like Urban Meyer out there that could come in and possibly take this job, makes it kind of hard for them to maybe continue with these guys.
Yeah, a lot of names out there in the coaching world right now, like you mentioned, Urban Meyer, Brian Kelly, even guys like John Gruden are trying to get back into the game.
Washington's head coach, Jim Fish. I'm talking about UCLA.
Nico takes a snap here. They're going to run it to the right. This one out for about a gain of 5 yards.
Great little run right there just to get the drive started. Like I said, you're not looking for that big play right here, right? UCLA looked for that on that 3rd down, wasn't able to convert. We just want to be able just to move the ball, get a methodical drive going here, run some clock, because there's nothing more demoralizing than the defense being out there for like 5 minutes and then going right back out. This cannot be a 3-and-out for the Birds.
Defense was out there a whole lot against Indiana. This one, a keeper by Nico. He's running it to the right, gets out towards that 1st down marker, and I believe he does get the yardage.
Every single time we see Nico run, we think that there is a possibility of a big play. But there's also a little bit of you that is holding its breath because we do not want to see Nico go down.
Nico, the team's leading rusher, came into this game with 388 yards. He's going to keep it again. And he'll push it out for about a gain of 5.
You want to be careful as a UCLA staff to not put too much pressure on Nico, like I said previously. If Nico feels like he has to go out and make every single play, he starts thinking and not reacting. And as a quarterback, when you begin to think and not react, that's when the mistakes come in.
UCLA, 2nd and 4 here, approaching midfield territory. Flores motions over, then back out. Nico looking to throw, looking towards Flores. Looks like that one's going to be incomplete, just a little bit too far outside and low for Flores to corral.
Yeah, he double clutched it. He thought about throwing it right away. Some pressure right in his face caused him to keep that ball and get it out at the last second, making it an error throw.
That'll bring up 3rd and 4 here. Ball on the 42-yard line.
The Nebraska fans are getting loud.
Looks like they're going to keep it with Nico one more time. And he's going to get the yards necessary for the 1st down.
So far, this has been a Nico show. But like I said, if the UCLA staff wants to keep in this game, they have to get the run game, not counting Nico, going.
UCLA comes into this game 3rd last in rushing attempts in the Big Ten. However, they're tied for 2nd in rushing touchdowns. A lot of that has to do with Nico and his rushing touchdowns. Going to keep it on the ground. They'll push the pile up for about 3 yards.
Already 2 minutes has come off the clock on this drive. This is exactly what UCLA needs. Slow the pace, allow Nico and the rest of the guys to settle in, let this offensive line feel a little gritty. That's what you want these boys up front doing. You want them to feel the game. When they're in it and they're making those plays, come 4th quarter, it's going to be a whole different game.
Like we were talking about before the game, this is going to be a battle in the trenches. Flag on the play here before the snap. It's going to be on UCLA.
It's going to be a false start. And that is exactly what UCLA cannot have here at the middle of the field. Now putting them behind the 6. It's going to be 2nd and 11. The difference between 2nd and 5 and 2nd and 6 or 2nd and 11 is huge in the game of football. That's the difference between a 3rd and 3 and a 3rd and 8.
UCLA back out there, single back, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Again with the run play, they'll push that out past midfield. That'll bring up 3rd down. Looks like they're going to need about 8 or 7.
Yeah, that run made this a little bit more manageable. However, they are just outside of field goal range. If they're able to pick up this 1st down, we might be able to see UCLA get some points on the board.
Looks like we're going to get a timeout here. So far, what have you seen from UCLA that you liked, and what have you seen that you think maybe they need to work on just a bit?
So offensively for UCLA, what I like is this offensive line is getting after it. They're firing off the ball. They're dominating this Nebraska D-line. And that's exactly what we said they need to do to win this game. What I don't like, it's these pre-snap penalties. It's these second guessing. It's Nico thinking too much, like we saw on that incomplete pass. If Nico is thinking too much, like he has, that's where the interceptions come, the fumbles. It's not good for UCLA. So if Nico is able to settle down into this game, it's only the 1st quarter, we are going to be just fine as a Brewer team.
Nico, 7 interceptions on the season. He ranks up there among the quarterbacks in the Big Ten.
It's going to be Garrett DiGiorgio coming off the field with an injury.
DiGiorgio, a returning player for the Bruins, has been big in that offensive line for them this year, going back to last year. And that's going to be an unfortunate injury for them as he's held off the sideline.
Like we said previously, it's going to be one in the trenches. So when you lose one of your starting guys, one of your guys that has been a character guy in the locker room, it's going to be hard for them to be able to replace him. For Nebraska, Nebraska could not have had a better start to this game. Starting out, getting the ball back, going down and running a nice, methodical, long drive to get their freshman quarterback into the game. You can't ask for anything more. And defensively, they've played all right up to this point. However, it's going to be a big issue if they allow UCLA to score on this drive.
UCLA still searching for their first completion of the game. They've been doing everything with the legs.
Nico's coming from an offense in Tennessee that was a very high-powered, right? Throw it deep type of offense. Now, at UCLA, he's asked to kind of use his legs more to get that grounding going. Because he doesn't have that caliber of wide receiver weapons like he did at Tennessee. So that's why we've seen Nico have to adjust and grow into this UCLA offense.
And what's it like going from Tennessee, an offense that really likes to throw the ball, where his legs can kind of be a secondary weapon, where he can use them if he needs to, compared to here, where it's kind of like his legs are his biggest threat.
As a quarterback, you do want to be able to have that dual threat in you, but you want to be a pass first as a quarterback.
Nico gets the snap, looking to throw here, looking towards his left. He's getting swarmed, able to find some room outside of the pocket. Rush for the first down. What a job by Nico able to escape the pocket.
Is the ball out? Is the ball out? Nico might have fumbled on this play. And no, they say UCLA has kept the ball. This is a terrific play from Nico. Great coverage downfield. Like I said, Nebraska has one of the best secondaries in the Big Ten. These guys know how to play. But that D-line is able to get penetration, but Nico was able to scramble around, find time, and get that first down. This is a big first down for the Bruins.
Like you mentioned, looked like he might have fumbled a little bit, but UCLA coming up with the ball. Nico hasn't been great with the fumbles on the season.
We're nearing a 5-minute drive here.
They'll rush this one up the middle. They'll get about 2 yards from that.
Yeah, Javion Thomas. Good run right there. A little bit of a momentum shift right here that we're seeing right now on this front line for the Bruins. They just need to keep chipping away at this Nebraska defense. Demoralize them a little bit, and they're going to be right back in this.
So far, UCLA, 8 rushes for 47 yards. Still looking for that first completion. Only 1 attempt through the air. Nico uses the arm. That one complete over the middle, just behind the first down marker. Looks like it was complete to Quasi Gilmer.
That was a terrific play from Nico. He had a safety, Rex Guthrie, the stud for Nebraska, coming off the edge free, and he was still able to complete that ball on that slant route. What a throw. That's the hardest throw to make as a quarterback. Standing in there knowing you're going to get drilled and still making that throw, that makes that staff on that UCLA sideline a little bit happy.
That brings up 3rd down and 2.
Watch the pressure here from this linebacker. Coming off the edge.
We're going to keep it on the ground. It looks like he's going to fall over the line. UCLA with a 3rd down conversion here.
Nebraska is able to run so many different combinations of blitzes with this 3-3-5 defense. It is one of the toughest defenses to go against because of the versatility. They were able to shoot the right gap, but it was not enough. And it is a UCLA Bruins first down.
Nebraska comes into this game 6-3 overall, 3-3 in the Big Ten. UCLA worst overall record, 3-5, but 3-2 in the Big Ten.
Looks like they're going to take a look at this to see if it really was a first down.
How would you like to see UCLA cap off this drive? What do you think they need to do to really punch it into the end zone?
Well, obviously it starts right here with this call. If this is a first down, I would like to see them take a little bit of a shot here, catch them off guard a little bit. However, if it's a 4th down, I think you have to go for it as the Bruins. Obviously, you have Mateen back there, who is a very, very reliable kicker. But I'd like to see them try and get back in this game a little bit and keep it a little closer, 7-7. We'll see what they decide to do if it is a fourth down.
UCLA not too bad on the fourth downs, 13 for 21. That's good for 62% conversion. So they're converting more than half of their fourth down attempts.
If UCLA does come out in its 1st and 10, a little bit of a play action pass, get Nico rolling out on the right, just like they have with CJ Lateef. Nico, though he's not a freshman, still needs to get settled into this game, right? He's been hit a couple times, so just get him rolling out, get him comfortable, and allow him to be the special talent player that he is.
Nico, the redshirt sophomore, local kid from Warren High School, transferred from Tennessee for a season here with the Bruins.
It's going to be a UCLA first down. That knee did look like it was close.
So the ruling on the field is upheld, and the offense still out there for UCLA.
And a lot of times with these calls, if it's too close, they'll just stick with the call on the field. And that's what they did here. It's now going to be 1st and 10 for the Bruins, nearing the end zone.
Nico gets set for the snap. Looking to throw here. Has some time, fires out on while getting hit. And now into the red zone and good for the first down for UCLA.
Great decision by Nico. He had plenty of time in the pocket, didn't see anyone downfield, felt the pressure coming, and dumped it off to his running back, Jalen Hurts, who was able to make the first man miss and get into the red zone. It's now going to be 1st and 10 for the Bruins from the 14.
Second completion of the game and second completion of the drive for UCLA. Clock winding down and 25 seconds left here in the first quarter.
This is exactly what UCLA needed to do. Almost a 7-minute drive. Like I said, they needed this drive to be able to get the momentum.
They'll run it to the left here, able to bounce it out, but not able to escape the approaching Cornhuskers. Berger trying to bounce that one out toward the sideline. Looked like he could have had a break towards the end zone, but just got caught up.
Yeah, a great tackle by number 10. Andrew Marshall was able to grab the ankles of Berger that prevented him hitting the sideline and possibly getting in the end zone.
Looks like we're going to take another time out here. UCLA now in the red zone. UCLA went in the red zone, 95.8% conversion rate. So it looks like there's a chance they might score based on the statistics.
Yeah, this is exactly what UCLA needed to do. We're able to run out the rest of the first quarter. This has been a methodical, hard-fought drive, and Jerry knew he had to have this. If they were to turn the ball right over again, Nebraska goes down and scores. Being down 14-0 on those first two drives would have been demoralizing, not only for the UCLA players, but the UCLA crowd. People don't understand the amount of energy that a crowd can bring or not bring into a game.
Pretty substantial crowd here for the Rose Bowl. Could be due to the fact that it's Parents Weekend or a Veteran Appreciation Day today at the Rose Bowl.
This is not a bad game to bring your parents to. If any parents are listening, we'd like to give you a warm welcome here at the Rose Bowl for Bruin Parents Weekend. As we get started with the second quarter, right now you can look down and see Nebraska all huddled up. And those coaches are getting into those players' ears, telling them that they need to get a stop on this drive. They need to have some momentum to be able to continue with this game.
What would it mean to UCLA here to score here and even things up?
It would mean everything for UCLA. Obviously, UCLA went 4 games without leading in a game. And that all ended, obviously, that Penn State game. And that is where the momentum fully shifted. The crowd got fully into it. And if UCLA is able to tie it back up here, we're going to be looking at a great game the rest of the way through.
UCLA did not hold a single lead in their first 4 games. There were 4 straight losses to Utah, then Nevada, Las Vegas, Northwestern, which is surprising for a lot of people, and New Mexico. And they had the firings and the reshaping of their coaching staff, and they beat number 7 Penn State, which was a shock to a lot of people.
It really was. It really was. And then when you look at the other sideline, Nebraska coming off of a win that many people didn't think they could have in USC, especially when Dylan Raiola went down in that third quarter. TJ Latif was able to stay in and will them to a win. But honestly, you have to give props to that running back, Evan Johnson, for really carrying the team on his back. And hey, for Nebraska to play USC and then play UCLA, they got to spend a week in Los Angeles. Beats Nebraska, am I right? Like, just a few cornfields out there. Come on.
I mean, I've personally never been to Nebraska, but
Yeah, I haven't either. It's not on my bucket list for traveling at the moment. Someone should prove me wrong. But obviously, also looking at the sideline, we have Matt Rhule, the former NFL coach who came back to college football to coach for Nebraska. He just signed a 2-year contract extension, even amidst the rumors that he was going to be going to his alma mater, Penn State.
Penn State, another team that's probably going to be in search of a new head coach this offseason. The Nebraska defense back out onto the field after that timeout.
Like I said, this is going to be a huge, huge few series of plays for the Bruin offense to get this momentum back for the Bruins. We have Jerry Neusheisel running out on the field. Oh, just grabbing a towel. Look at this, coach. He's a player's coach, they said.
Offense back and ready for UCLA here. Working in the red zone now. Looking at a 2nd and 6. They're going to keep it on the ground, this time to the right. They're not going to get much there, but it'll be a small gain.
It's immediate penetration for that Nebraska D-line. There was nowhere for Javion Thomas to go. He had to bounce that outside, which he didn't want to do. It was quickly met by multiple Nebraska defenders.
Only the 3rd drive of the game so far, and it brought us into the 2nd quarter. It's been 14 plays, 64 yards.
The big 3rd down for the Bruin offense.
Nico wants to throw here. Got a completion over the middle.
He's going to be short of the line to gain. Bring up 4th and 2, it looks like.
Nico went back to Quasi Gilmer on that one. Had a crossing route over the middle. And the offense quick to line up on 4th and 2nd. That's going to cause a timeout. Lead by Nebraska.
Now, was UCLA even going to run a play? That is the question. We're going to see right here when this decision to come. It looks as though the team is warming up. I personally, if I'm UCLA, I'm going for this.
I mean, you look at the stats, right? 95.8% red zone completion. And, you look at the stats on 4th down, too. 13 for 21 so far on the season. 62%. I think the stats say go for it.
Worst case scenario, you give a freshman quarterback the ball back inside his 5-yard line. That's exactly what you want as a defense. If, theoretically, UCLA is not able to pick this up, look for them to throw a couple exotic blitzes. Maybe a safety blitz, maybe a corner blitz. We'll have to see.
13 minutes here, 56 seconds in the half. Ball on the 5-yard line. UCLA regrouping. What kind of plays do you expect to see them run here if they do decide to go for it?
If they do decide to go for this, I'm all for a little bit of a pick play, right? Get Nico rolling out, play action pass, and give him 2 options. Either that tight end's going to leak out, and you have him in the top corner on a corner route, and you hit him through the back pylon. You have another tight end. If they do the heavy set, which I would do, you have your fullback going out in the flats. Gives you 2 options, or Nico can take it himself. That would be my personal. Like I said, this is going to be a big play for the Bruins for the rest of his game, pretty much.
Both teams still huddled on their sidelines. It's going to be interesting to see what they choose. UCLA so far with the special teams, they've been pretty solid. 14 for 17 on field goals, that's 82.4%. 15 for 15 on extra points.
Mateen has been money for the Bruins. Obviously, he won in that game against Maryland. He was a very highly recruited player out of high school. Ended up committing to Berkeley. Was there for a year. Came back to the right school, UCLA, and has now been here ever since.
Yeah, you might upset some people calling it Berkeley. I know a lot of people prefer to call it Cal.
They don't represent California in my book.
I think it's even worse if you call it UCB.
Ooh, UCB.
They don't appreciate that very much.
Big play here for the Bruins. Everybody is on their feet.
Offense and defense here, back both out onto the field. UCLA offense looking to punch this one in on fourth down. Nico going to keep it himself. He's got the first down up towards the goal line. Going to be short of the touchdown, but it looks like he secured the first.
That is what we've seen out of UCLA so far. Get the ball into your star player's hands. Nico, even though I may not love it, for the safety of Nico, great play for the Bruins. Nico, if he can feel like if he can take it himself, he should.
Fresh set of downs here. 13 minutes, 25 seconds left to go. Trying to punch this one in and score. Looks like Nico shifted over. Going to be a direct snap to the running back. Berger pushes up the middle and gets the touchdown. UCLA.
Great play call by Jerry. Get the ball, not into Nico's hands. Keep your quarterback safe. Get that ball into Jalen Berger's hands. And that man is feasting in the end zone.
The next snap to Berger. That's his second touchdown of the season for the Michigan State transfer. Now UCLA on for the extra point. So far, they've been perfect. 15 for 15. We'll see if they can make it 16. This one up and good. UCLA pushes back 7-7.
What a play by the UCLA Bruins. Like I said, get that ball in the Berger's hands and let him go to work. This guy can thump, and that's exactly what he did to get into the end zone. Big drive, and that's exactly what UCLA needed to get back in this game. That drive lasted nearly 10 minutes. Took nearly 10 minutes off the clock.
Yeah, it took us into the second half. Second quarter. You have to understand that was only the third drive of the game. UCLA started with the ball, gave it to Nebraska, and they scored quickly. And they took their sweet time on that drive.
UCLA learned from their mistakes. Against Maryland, they had the ball back with 5 minutes, and they didn't run out the clock. They ended up leaving too much time for Maryland to come back and score and keep it a close game. Yet, they still pulled off it with Mateen kicking the game-winning kick. So, in the end, it all worked.
Still came up with the victory then. It was a tough one last week against Indiana. Lost by 50 points, 56-6. What kind of adjustments do you think they made from that game?
Obviously, Indiana is one of the top teams in the country. Kept it close against Penn State today, probably just to keep things fun, right? But that was a really hard game for UCLA, obviously. Kind of took a little bit of the air out of the UCLA fandom. However, they were able to bounce back, like I said, keeping things simple for Nico. Just getting him into the rhythm, getting this ground game going. In the second half, we're going to be probably seeing some fireworks going.
We've already seen some fireworks here, some pyrotechnics on that touchdown here at the Rose Bowl. We get set for UCLA to take it back off to Nebraska. What sort of things do you expect to see out of Nebraska here on their second drive of the game?
I think it's going to be very similar to that first drive that they had. If it ain't broke, like I said, don't fix it. Look for a lot of pre-snap motion again, which allows them to read that defense and get that extra blocker in there for that running game to get TJ Lateef comfortable. Lateef is going to be a big, big factor for this team.
In a limited sample size in this game so far, we've seen him play exceptionally well. Just very good basic football, not making a lot of mistakes.
Exactly. Don't ask him to do too much, and he'll be just fine. Let's talk about Emmett Johnson, though. This guy is nothing without his O-line, obviously. A running back will be the first person to tell you that they need those big boys up front. And let me tell you, these guys are massive people. Massive. 6'6", 6'7", 6'8". Big dudes blocking for Emmett Johnson.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a lot to just, look at it on paper, look at the height. So, yeah, 6'7", 6'6". We were down there before the game watching these guys, do their warm-ups, and these are some giant human beings.
There's a couple guys that I need to question if they're still eligible for college because they're missing some hair on the top of their head, and they look like they could be 40.
I mean, that's what life in the trenches will do to you.
It is a stressful part of the game. That's why I personally was never in the trenches. Keep me out wide. No, thank you.
And we stay in the press box.
Yes. With free food. They treated us very, very well.
UCLA on the kick now. Kick is up. Looks like Nebraska's going to let this one go out of the end zone for a touchback here.
It's getting a little bit chippy down there, you're seeing. Tensions are rising after a long drive like that. It's demoralizing, like I said, for the other team, which kind of leads to emotions to rise. It's been a pretty clean game up to this point. Only one penalty flag has been called against UCLA. The team that finishes this game with the least amount of penalties and keeps it clean will most likely come out on top.
Both teams back on their sidelines discussing their plan for this next drive. What do you think UCLA needs to do differently compared to the first drive on that score from Nebraska in order to hold them back here?
If I'm UCLA, I am bringing every single pressure that I can at this quarterback. Cloud the box. Fill the box with as many people as you can. Stop this running game and force Lateef to have to throw the ball. He hasn't had to do much besides dumping it off in the flats. If you force him to go one-on-one with your secondary, which has played great. They didn't play great against Indiana, but Indiana's the number 6 team in the country. They played terrific against Maryland. If you force them to go one-on-one with your corners and your safeties outside, that's where you're going to find your money plays for UCLA.
Yeah, the secondary played great against Maryland a couple of games ago. Scooter Jackson came up big towards the end of that game. Roderick Pleasant, second most pass deflections in the Big Ten. He has 7.
We'll see right now. If I'm Nebraska, I am getting this ball on the ground. Like I said, keep it on the ground, keep it easy for this quarterback. And we'll see if he's able to actually keep Nebraska competitive for the rest of the season. But mind you, this kid's 18 years old, 18, 19 years old. A true freshman quarterback. This guy was playing against probably like 5'5" players in high school. And now he's going against some of the biggest men on the planet in college football.
Rare thing to see nowadays, true freshmen. So many players now opting to redshirt their first year. Also with the transfer portal, it kind of seems like smaller programs are more like feeder programs to these big schools. So many transfers, at least for UCLA. Nebraska has a lot more homegrown talent.
If Lateef's able to play well, Nebraska better offer him some money to keep him to stay because Weil is obviously coming back next season with Matt Rule still at the helm. And this Nebraska team, watch out for them next year. Dylan Arroyo coming back healthy. A lot of their starters will be returning. This Nebraska team could be a very, very sneaky playoff team.
Both teams back on now. We get set for Nebraska's second drive of the game.
That was a long break.
Sky's starting to get a little bit foggy and misty here in Pasadena.
It
It
has.
finally starts to kind of feel like fall weather. It's been kind of warm for fall here.
A little bit chilly for Southern California. And let me tell you, there's nothing better than chilly football weather, especially when it's chilly for us, like 65 degrees. That's cold here in Southern California.
Definitely not for Nebraska. They're probably having a nice time as that one's complete over the middle, a sidestep up towards that first down, but looks like he might be a bit short. We'll see where they rule this.
Yeah, just kept it simple. Simple trips formation. 3 slants. All you have to do is read what does that inside linebacker or that outside linebacker take. Find the open guy, and that's exactly what Lateef did. All of Nebraska's play calls need to be catered to a young quarterback, and that's exactly what they've done so far.
Lateef so far 3 for 3, 27 yards and a touchdown.
We had a motion man go across the middle of the field, showing that it's man coverage.
Looking to throw here again, rolling out towards his left, dumps it off, a little shovel pass. That's going to be good for a first down.
Yeah, they were looking deep for Dane Key on a crack corner. It looked to be open, and he was able to get that throw off, but he was flushed out of the pocket and was forced to dump it off to his running back in the flats. Great play by the UCLA Bruins to get immediate pressure in there. By number 92, Sael Tapaku. They really did not make it easy for us broadcasters to do that.
Nebraska 1st and 10 now, trying to get it past midfield. This one, they'll keep it with the back. That's good for a gain of about 2 yards.
Nice little run there. And to the average fan, the average football watcher, or not football watcher, this game might be a little bit boring. We haven't seen any crazy big plays. However, we've seen, like I said, in the trenches, it has been all about the trenches. Who can get 2 or 3 yards every single play?
Both of these teams heavily relying on the run game. This time they'll do it through the air. Throws complete, and he's got lots of grass off the sideline, making the man miss. Still on his feet, towards the sideline. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Emmett Johnson is the man for Nebraska. That play was all Emmett Johnson in that O-line. We had a little bit of a screen pass here. Get him looking one way, get him out to the left. And he had 2 blockers running down the middle of the field. And there was nobody to stop him. Number 21 for UCLA, Cole Martin missed the tackle. And Emmett Johnson was able to find that sideline and get all the way down.
56-yard passing touchdown for TJ Lateef. Just a dump off to Emmett Johnson, like you said, and he did the rest.
For this young quarterback, that's exactly what you want. You want to be a yak merchant, yards after catch. Don't make it too difficult for him. That's what we're seeing right here. And that is what has been hurting UCLA for most of this season. It hasn't been the deep plays. It's the little dump offs and not being able to make the tackle. We saw that in the first game against Utah, where Dave here was able just to dump it up. I don't think he threw a ball farther than 5 yards down the field that game. And yet, Utah was able to dominate that game.
Nebraska on for the extra point. Here's the snap and kick. And that's good. Nebraska capitalizes and takes the lead 14-7.
Snap was a little high there. Great job by the holder to get that down. And as a former holder myself, let me tell you, sometimes that snap can be hard to get down. And just got it. That is the exact answer that you wanted if you are a Nebraska Cornhuskers fan. You're probably grabbing your popcorn right now because you're feeling pretty good. 2 for 2 on your drives. Your young quarterback is looking terrific. These play calls from this offensive coordinator couldn't have been better, in my opinion.
So far, Lateef has been perfect. 5 for 5, 90 yards, and now 2 passing touchdowns.
He's played smart. He hasn't made any dumb decisions, hasn't panicked. Like we saw on that play action pass where he had to roll out. He could have tried to make that throw to Key, but instead he didn't. He took his safe option, and that's exactly what you want. Don't force anything. Don't be the reason that you lose this game. That's all we're asking him to do. Be a game manager. And on the other side of the field, Nico isn't just has to be a game manager. He has to be the game. He has to pretty much almost do everything for UCLA up to this point is what we've seen. If someone else needs to step up for the UCLA Bruins offense in order to take some pressure off of Nico, if they are going to stay in this game and stay competitive.
Another thing, Nebraska, the offensive line has just been pretty great at keeping Latif clean. He hasn't felt much pressure against this UCLA defensive line, and defense as a whole that hasn't been too great this season. Last in the Big Ten in sacks. They only have 6 as a team, and last in tackles for loss.
Yeah, that is a big, big stat right there. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how UCLA comes out right now on offense. Obviously, there's 10 minutes left. If they have another 10-minute drive, we could be going right into the 2-minute warning with only 5 drives. Only 5 drives. That'd be crazy. See what UCLA is able to do here in just a couple of minutes.
It's really just been that one scoring drive for UCLA that's really taken out all the time. Nebraska scored pretty quickly on both of their drives, and then UCLA with that opening drive, a 3 and out.
UCLA hasn't had an answer on defense so far. And if they're not able to score here, this game could get out of hand quick. Nebraska gets the ball at half. Bruins need to get something going here. And like I said, we need, as a UCLA Bruins defense, they need to be giving some pressure in this guy's face. We haven't been getting there. When we have, it's forced them to dump it off. And it's been stopped for 4 kick. We need to get this quarterback to make a mistake. That is UCLA's #1 goal. Haven't had the ability to just yet.
UCLA allowing 378.6 yards per game on average. The defense really just has not been the strong suit for the Bruins. 195.5 rushing yards allowed per game. That's the most in the Big Ten.
UCLA is able to score here. They're going right into the student section. And as an offense, that's exactly what you want. You want to get your students into this game. Keep them here, and don't make them leave before half.
UCLA allowing on average of 31 points per game.
That is not winning football right there. Obviously, those stats are from the 4 games as well that they started off the season, where it was a little bit rocky. So the averages have kind of averaged out a little bit. However, even in that Penn State game, that second half, Penn State almost came back.
UCLA elects to return this one, and they're going to bring it out to about the 21-yard line.
Things are getting a little chippy down there. Every single kickoff, we're seeing few mouths moving, few pushing, few shoving after the play.
Look, Mikey Matthews on the return.
Look to the 4th quarter, and we'll see which team is able to stay composed and keep their emotions in check. Cannot be having dumb penalties like that in a game like this.
UCLA already passed their previous total in points in the last game against Indiana. They only scored 6. They scored 3 in the second and 3 in the third quarter. Already an improved offense tonight so far. We'll see if they can do it again. Nico gets set for the snap here. He wants to throw. Rolling out to his right. That one thrown. It's a double coverage, but able to make the completion just short of the first down.
Not in love with that throw. He had a guy open to the boundary. Possibly could have picked up the first down. However, it was a tight throw into double coverage, and he was able to complete it. Nonetheless, it is going to be 2nd down and short.
And had a small window there, but able to fit that ball. And a pass to Titus Mokiel Atimalala.
Great job on that.
This time on the ground, not going to get the first down, though.
Yeah, I would have loved to see UCLA run a little bit of a play action there and try something deep, 2nd and short. Let's see what they have here on 3rd down.
Here down, they're going to run the ball. Getting close to that first down marker, I believe they're going to push it past. So a first down for UCLA. Things are looking good so far for this drive.
It initially looked like he was going to be short, but that second effort and a little extra oomph and falling forward was able to get him that first down. This is going to be a very physical football game. And these Nebraska boys, they're from Nebraska. These boys are farmers, and they know how to thump. So we'll see what UCLA can do here on first down.
First down, UCLA, a yard past their own 30-yard line. They'll motion a man behind. Nico passes the ball over on the handoff. Now we're not going to go anywhere. They'll be lucky to get it back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I love that play call. Handing it off to a smaller guy in the backfield. Number 21, Javion Thomas for UCLA. Don't love the play call. However, we'll see what they can do here on 2nd and 10. Behind the sticks, this is not where you want to be as an offense, especially on your end of the field.
Nico, so far, the only quarterback with playing time for UCLA. This one on the ground. Nico going to step up, run through the middle of the pocket, and he's got a first down and then some. Finally brought down. Looks like a gain of about 17 or 18 yards.
Nico is a special player. He was able to tuck and run that ball, juke a defender, saw that no one was open, had to step up into pressure, was able to make a man miss, make a second man miss, and flush through another defender. Personally, I want to see my quarterback get down. That's what we see guys like Jackson Dart in the NFL now. Has been criticized for not sliding. A lot of these quarterbacks don't know how to slide anymore. It's not really tough.
A lot of guys like Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, rather just put down their shoulder, use their size. This one a handoff going to the left. That'd be good for a gain of about 2 yards.
It's going to be quickly snuffed out by the Nebraska D-line. And do we have a line down? No, he is perfectly fine. Just loading it up. That would have been another huge loss for the UCLA Blue Rains up front. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to do something a little bit trickery here. Always have a safety valve as an offense, right? But look for something deep here on the outside to test these corners a little bit. Obviously, I said, this Nebraska defense is legit. They've got a very, very, very good secondary. But let's see if they can try a little bit of a crack corner or something down underneath, one-on-one.
Again, they're going to keep it on the ground. Looks to be short of the first down marker. The previous run by Nico was good for 21 yards.
Yeah, it was a great run by Javier Thomas right there. And obviously, that's why I'm in the booth and not calling plays like Jerry. Great play call. Get that into 3rd and short, 3rd and manageable. And we'll see what the Bruins are able to do here on 3rd and 1.
Jerry Neuheisel, officially listed as the assistant head coach coming into the season, now calling plays for the Bruins. Was a quarterback with the team from 2012 to 2015. As Nico fires this one down the sideline, maybe behind his receiver. Looks like he might have got hit on that throw, wasn't able to get it off how he wanted to.
Yeah, Rico Flores has never turned around for this. It was there, the back shoulder throw was there. But Flores just turned around too late. It was a bad throw by Nico. But if Flores was able to turn his head just a second sooner, possibly could have been looking at a first down here. It's going to be 4th and 1, and they are bringing an extra offensive line into the game. A big boy. It's going to be a ground and pound play right here.
UCLA lines up back behind Nico, and running back to his side. They'll motion the offensive lineman up the middle. This one's good. No, it's going to get stopped.
It was a read option, and Nico kept it. This is what I'm saying. Nico feels like he has to be the one to make the play. If he hands the ball off there, it is wide open in the middle of the field. This Nebraska defense was not fooled for a second. They've been keeping up on those tendencies where Nico feels like I said, he feels like he has to be the guy, and he kept that ball. Obviously, it didn't work out for them right now. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Nebraska Cornhuskers with 6:18 left to go in the second quarter. This is going to be a big drive for them. If they're able to score here, makes it hard for UCLA to come back.
Tough break for UCLA. I thought they had ran the ball up the middle. I saw the running back punching up towards the middle.
I did too.
Looks like Nico ended up keeping.
That is a bad decision by Nico right there to keep that ball. But it all goes back to overthinking it, right? Not reading. That linebacker didn't crash, and yet he still kept the ball.
That drive was 9 plays for 39 yards. They had the ball for 4.5 minutes. They were making a solid drive, solid march down towards the red zone. Just couldn't come up on that 4th down. Maybe they should try a tush push.
That's what you're saying now. This tush push that has been taking over football. Most teams, at least in the NFL, have installed it, and we've seen it in the collegiate level as well. Could have been a good move right there. But you bring in an extra offensive lineman to be that lead blocker. And honestly, a lot of times, could be fooling you. But he made a great play, took out a linebacker, and that could have been a first down. Yet Nico cut the ball, and Nebraska was not fooled. Nebraska has a chance right now to go down and score, and they get the ball coming out of half. We could be looking at a 28-7 ball game before UCLA ever gets the ball back.
What do you think UCLA really needs to focus on if they want to be able to hold off Nebraska and stay in this game?
Well, I'm going to be looking for UCLA, obviously, here defensively. Like I've been saying, you need to get pressure on this quarterback. If you're able to do that, this could be a very different game. This drive is of the utmost importance for both of these teams. UCLA hasn't shown the ability to stop a freshman quarterback. And I'm not saying that CJ Lateef isn't a capable quarterback. All I'm saying is that they haven't forced him to be in a situation to make a mistake yet. And that's all you're trying to do as a defense. Force the quarterback to think about what he's doing. Because so far he's just reacted and he's made great plays. This quarterback is playing out of his mind right now.
Yeah, you really have to credit just the team he has around him. Offensive line has been doing a great job of giving him time, creating lanes for Johnson. It all starts up front. They've been doing a great job, and they've allowed Lateef and Johnson to really play to their fullest extent.
Yeah, this is a very, very young team that is playing like a very, very well-cohesed team. They look like they've been playing together for years. But like I said, a lot of these guys are on the younger side, especially in that wide receiver room. I've been showing a lot of love to the O-line. But let me shout out those receivers as well. These guys, obviously receivers are known as the divas, but they've been blocking out of their mind this game. If you look at film, what are they doing? Blocking. And that's something that's lost a lot in today's game.
They allowed for that big play to Emmett Johnson along the sideline that allowed them to score the 56-yard touchdown. As they hand this one off, and UCLA going to sniff this one out, get the tackle at about the line of scrimmage. Not much of a gain there, maybe a yard for Nebraska.
Yeah, Emmett Johnson was looking for that home run right there, trying to bounce it outside to hit that sideline. Could not get around the UCLA defender who made a great open field tackle. I would have liked to see Emmett Johnson get upfield on that, because now that was only a gain of 2.
Second down here, 2nd and 8. Looks like Lateef's going to keep it himself, going towards the right. He's going to get brought down by UCLA. Looks to be maybe short of the line to gain. We'll see where they put this ball.
It looked like that play had a little bit of life, but safety, number 4, Key Lawrence, came out of nowhere and was able to tackle Lateef. Lateef was hitting that sideline, and he could have been gone. This guy's got wheels. Like I said, a very sought-after dual-threat quarterback. But yet, Key was able to make the play.
3rd and 1 here. Going to be a direct snap. Leads to the tight end, and looks like they're going to push the pile and get the first down.
Now, you just asked, if UCLA had run that play, they would have been still out. They probably would have been on field still. However, they tried to get a little bit too tricky, tried to get a little bit too pretty. Not like Nebraska, where Heinrich Harburg is just able to go under center, take a snap, get the first down. We live in a day and age where offensive coordinators like to be a little bit too pretty, right? A little bit too cute, and have gotten away from the fundamentals of the game. Ground and pound.
Fresh set of downs here, now past the 50-yard line, encroaching into UCLA territory. This one a run, bouncing it back towards the right. That's good for a first down. UCLA finally getting a pile and bringing him down, but Nebraska now out past the 40-yard line in Bruin territory.
It's just a terrific play by this offensive line, just to seal off that edge and allow Johnson to hit the sideline. This is exactly what Nebraska needed to do. They're running out the clock. There's only 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in this half. They're driving down this field on the opponent's 36-yard line, 37-yard line. This is exactly what Nebraska needed as a drive.
Promotion to tight end. Latif making some adjustments at the line. Again, they'll give it to Johnson. This one only about a gain of 1, maybe 2 yards.
Getting a little bit chippy after the play. Like I said, the team that is not able to control their emotions in this game will lose. You cannot be having dumb penalties, especially if you are UCLA in this matchup. They need to be watching that right now. Keep their cool.
Both teams getting close, but they've been able to maintain it so far up to this point. Not many penalties.
Nebraska's #1 goal right now is to come away from points in the stride. Probably need to get the first down, or at least close to the first down, to be in field goal range for their kicker.
Latif passes this one, wide open man over the middle, into the red zone. He's still on his feet. Finally brought down just behind the 5-yard line of the Bruins, but Nebraska now dangerous in striking position of the end zone.
It's just a great route by JP here. Just simple. Just a little slant route across the middle of the field. Get the ball into his hands and allow him to be the player that he is. Obviously, he's the leader of this wide receiving room. He's a senior. Big plays all year long for this group. And we see another one right here. Great little play for TJ Latif. Like I said, he's feeling comfortable. You can start to feel it. There's a little bit of a moxie now when he's running around on that field. He is in full control of this game.
Looks like we're going to get a timeout break here as Nebraska is dangerously close to the end zone. I'm sorry, 2-minute warning. 2 minutes left to go until halftime. If Nebraska can score, how big would that be?
Like I said earlier, this is going to be huge. 2 minutes to go left in the half. This is the exact drive that Nebraska is looking to have. Run out this clock, allow the team just to rest that defense. And if they score before half here, we could be looking, like I said, to a 28-7 ball game before UCLA even gets the ball back. UCLA, time and time again, so far this game has proved they cannot stop the short throw. They're going to be trying something new on defense, possibly dialing up the blitz, like I've said. Force this quarterback to make errant throws.
Looking back to last week, 2 weeks ago against Indiana, UCLA allowed 475 total yards of offense. Again, a 56-6 loss. What do you think they've been doing better? What do you think they've been doing worse compared to that game?
Obviously, after a game like that, there's a lot of things that you can learn from. But obviously, there's a lot of things where it's just kind of, you just have to throw away the tape. Those are just type of those games where it's like, you can't really learn too much with that bad of a performance, if you get what I'm saying. So UCLA just had to clear their minds, clear their heads, get back to what they know. All these guys had the opportunity to hop in the transfer portal when Foster was fired. Nico said, if you don't want to be on this team, leave. How many players left? 0. This team is here. This team wants to be at still the top university in our hearts. And they want to be playing for UCLA. We'll see what this team is able to do, if they're able to bounce back in this game. But this is going to be a game-defining drive. UCLA still has all 3 timeouts. That is big. And the field actually does work to your favor if you are UCLA. Nebraska can't run out as much clock as they probably would like to. And with UCLA having 3 timeouts, look for Nico to get the ball back, hopefully with about a minute 20 left. And we saw what he did against that Maryland, where he was able to drive down and get us in scoring range for the team to hit the game-winning kick. If you're UCLA, your number one goal right here is to force the field goal, or better yet, force a turnover, get downfield, and at least get a field goal in before half. You need points in this half to feel successful and to get some momentum.
It would be tough for the Bruins to go down by 2 touchdowns, especially with Nebraska getting the ball, like you said, after the half. Both teams back out onto the field.
That first stop by Nebraska in the opening drive for UCLA is proving to be a very pivotal moment in the game, like I said. Every single drive, especially in games like this where you don't have as many possessions as you probably would like, every single drive is of the utmost importance.
Whistles here now as Nebraska hurries up towards the line. 2 minutes left to go here in the half. Nebraska on the 5-yard line of UCLA. Latif gets the snap. He's going to hand it off to the back. UCLA does a good job of keeping them back at about the line of scrimmage.
Looked like it was Smith involved in there again. Gary Smith III has been playing great for this UCLA front. That's the exact play that you needed. And we see a timeout here by UCLA. Like I said, get this ball back early for Nico. It's 2nd and goal. Nebraska cannot run out this clock anymore. If UCLA likes to use all of their timeouts, Nico will get this ball back with about 1:30 left.
That's really all you can hope for. You want Nico to get this ball back and try to do something. If they do get the ball back, probably going to need to pass the ball.
We'll see what UCLA is able to do here right now coming out of this timeout. Like I said earlier, if UCLA is able to get some pressure on them right now, that's what you're going to be looking for. Nebraska obviously will be looking for a little bit of a pick play, something easy. Roll out, play action pass. We'll see what they're able to do. As UCLA fans are going crazy for a grandma in the stands, UCLA fans are going nuts. This is amazing. This is the exact energy that you need on a big goal line stop if you are the Bruins.
Bruins defense trying to feed off of that. Here's the handoff. Nebraska pushing towards the end zone. Looks like it's going to be about a yard short, and that's going to bring up 3rd and goal.
That looked like it had the ability to get a stop behind the line of scrimmage. However, Emmett Johnson was able to make a nice spin move and fall forward, getting an extra couple yards.
Another timeout here. Last one was pretty quick. Now we got another one. If UCLA gets the ball back, we probably expect them to try and get it done through the air.
Exactly. You're looking for something. That's the tough part, especially against this Nebraska corner defense. And specifically that secondary that is very, very, very well trained. These guys know how to ball. And if that 3-3-5 defense we've been talking about is one of the most, like I said, the most annoying defenses to go against because you got 5 DBs back there. Well, 5 DB/linebackers that just can absolutely fly and hit. So we'll see what UCLA is able to do here on 3rd and goal.
3rd and goal. Nebraska lines up 2 backs. They'll give it again. He's going to run that in to the end zone. Touchdown, Nebraska. They push their lead 7-20.
Almost into the end zone untouched. It looked like he was going to stop, but he was just able to slide right through the line of scrimmage right here. Just terrific blocking. And number 6 for UCLA, John Marks, has made some great plays. Simply could not make that one. Went for the arm tackle, wasn't enough to stop the bowling ball. That is Emmett Johnson.
Nebraska on for the extra point now. Johnson, 2 touchdowns in this game, 1 receiving, 1 rushing. That kick pushes Nebraska lead 7-21 here as the Bruins will get the ball with a pretty substantial amount of time. 1 minute, 47 seconds left to go. We could potentially see them march down here. What do you think they need to really focus on?
They need to be attacking deep here if you're UCLA, obviously. Don't try to get it all in one play. First get into a rhythm, find an open play, and if it's not there, get your check down if you're Nico. Look for Nico's legs to be a major factor in this drive right here. And, Nebraska scoring there isn't the worst possible thing for UCLA. Obviously, you would like to stop them there, but having a minute 47 and a timeout left, this is going to be a game-defining drive for this team. The difference between a 14-21 game and a 7-21 game where you haven't stopped Nebraska once going into the locker room, that is major for this team's morale. It's going to be hard for the skipper and the rest of the staff to be able to rein in UCLA if they're not able to score on this drive.
We get set here for kickoff. Nebraska kicking off to UCLA.
If you're Nico, do not force anything. He's had a tendency to try to make the big play and yet make a mistake and throw an interception. Do not put fuel onto the fire if you are Nico. Do not make that mistake. Allowing Nebraska to get the ball back here with two timeouts, having them get the ball back here with 2 timeouts would be devastating for the rest of this game.
Nico has not been great at avoiding the interception. 7 on the season so far. None so far tonight. Hopefully we don't get any sort of jinx by mentioning it.
You never know. You never know. We're always known for cursing or jinxing the kickers when they're going out there, but so far nothing's happened just yet. So if Nico throws an interception on this drive, we would like to apologize in advance for that. We will see what happens, though, coming up in just a minute. Like I said, the team has a very strong leg. If you're UCLA, you just need to get into field goal range. You probably feel comfortable at around 40, 45 yards. But I've heard from a team in high school, this guy can kick it deep. And if you give him a shot from 60 plus, let it rip, am I right?
In your experience, just how much tougher is it to kick a field goal in a real game with defenders running at you, someone holding the ball, the snap has to go off compared to just in fact just using a key, no one in front of you all the time on the
Kicking is a completely different game from the rest of football. It is all mental. I don't even almost consider them football players. I'm joking. But from a team, it is all going to be about his mental fortitude. Is he able to stay locked in a crowd of 60,000 people that are almost half Nebraska fans? Can he stay locked in? Can he focus on hitting that kick? Because the smallest misstep, the smallest thought that comes into his head could push that thing wide left or right.
Kick here for Nebraska to UCLA. Brought in at about the 5-yard line. Making his way towards the left side of the field. He's going to get brought down just behind the 20-yard line.
This is going to be a big play here for the Bruins. Are the Bruins able to score more enough? We'll see. Like I said, just getting in field goal range, just getting some points is going to help the morale going into the locker room. But UCLA needs to come up with some answers quick here. Look for some pressure from Nebraska. They trust those defenders. They trust those defensive backs to go out and make plays.
Nico gets the snap here. They're going to run the ball up the middle. Looks like a gain of about 3 yards.
Look for UCLA to get back on the line of scrimmage quickly, and here they are. They are a little bit of a drive starting run right there. Good pickup, 2nd and 5 now for the Bruins.
Minute 20 seconds remain here. Nico trying to get it done through the air. Pocket collapsing. He's going to get taken down. That's a sack for Nebraska.
He could have escaped left there, but he didn't. He held on to the ball. Was thinking too much. And it resulted in a Nebraska sack. And if I'm UCLA, I don't love this timeout call right here. 3rd and 11, or 2nd and 11. 3rd and 11, excuse me. I don't love the timeout. Oh, the timeout was by Nebraska. The official messed it up. I was very confused why UCLA would end up taking a timeout on 3rd and 11.
Nebraska takes their second timeout, one remaining. UCLA also one remaining.
This is a nightmare scenario for the Bruins. 3rd and 11. You cannot allow Nebraska to score before half right now. We'll see what Jarek has in his bag of tricks for the Bruins.
And Nebraska does have some power with that timeout. If they decide to run the ball and get the clock going, Nebraska could always use a timeout and stop it. And they'd have about a minute to go down and score before the half if that ends up happening.
We'll see here what happens right now on 3rd and 11. If you're Nebraska, you're looking for a big defensive stop. I'm bringing pressure if I'm Nebraska. Force Nico to get the ball out early and quick.
UCLA back up to the line of scrimmage. Nico fires to the left. That's complete. Will he have enough, though? Looks to be maybe just a bit shy of the line to gain. We'll see where they put this ball down.
They're giving him the first down, it looks like.
Big break for UCLA there.
We'll get on the ball quick to get this snap going.
Clock stopped at 1 minute and 9 seconds. Nico over the middle, complete. That one good for, should be another UCLA first down. That'll get the clock moving.
Great throw to Rico Flores on his back shoulder, stopping him, saving him from getting blown up by that middle linebacker. That's exactly what you need to do as a quarterback.
1 minute left to go here. Nico just too high over the middle, kind of felt the pressure hit as he threw it.
He had a man open, but like he said, he was hit as he threw it, which will make the throw go high. Second and 10 now for the Bruins, and we'll see what they're able to do coming out right now. It's 52 seconds left on the clock. I'd like to see them make a little bit of a short throw, a little bit of like a screen pass or something. Just get this drive moving a little bit. Get out of bounds, get that clock stopped, make it this more manageable 3rd down.
Clock at 52 seconds. With the snap, it'll start up again. A pass over the middle towards the left, not going to be complete, though, to fall out of bounds.
This has been a struggle for Nico. He's had a couple of throws that have gone high this season. You can't blame that one on the pressure. He had a decent pocket, not the best. Obviously, as a quarterback, you could always want more. However, that throw was just high. You got to give your receiver a chance, especially when it's a tight end.
Pass was intended for Jack Peterson, the redshirt junior. He has 6 receptions on the season for 60 yards.
Look for some sort of a corner route out here in the slot.
Nico on 3rd down, stepping up in the pocket. Looks like he's going to take it himself. Gets the line of the game. Nico out past the 50-yard line on the keeper. And that's good for a Bruins first down.
Terrific play by Nico to get in the open field, make 2 defenders miss. And they'll clock it here with 35 seconds left, making it 2nd and 10.
UCLA now out past the 50-yard line into Husker territory. Looks like we'll get some personnel changes for UCLA. Had a nice sidestep on that play, able to juke out 2 different defenders on that run by Nico.
Yeah, just a great play by Nico, heads-up play, just to be able to get that first down. This is the exact drive that UCLA needs to make right now.
Nico feeling the pressure, escapes out to his left. Again, he's going to keep the ball. He's going to get down after gaining the first down. The clock's going to...
It's going to be enough for a first down, but to get on the ball and clock it. 27 seconds left right now in the game.
Nico takes the snap, going to throw it down. That'll stop the clock at 25.
Right now, you're looking at about a 52-yarder, 54-yard field goal. McKinney has the lead. However, in game, it is all different. When you have to have that timing perfect, you have to have that snap down, everything perfect. can be a little bit tough. If you're UCLA, you're looking to work the boundary of the field here. And if you're Nebraska, play the sticks and play the boundaries.
So far on the drive, UCLA 4 first downs, 30 yards rushing, 21 through the air. Nico wants to pass, feels the pressure behind him, able to dump this one off to an open man. That's good for a gain of about 6 or 7 yards.
It's going to be a timeout called by UCLA. Nebraska had a guy coming free off of the edge, which forced Nico to get the ball out quickly. Great play call from the Nebraska Huskers to be able to force Nico to dump it off where they were also forced to use their timeout.
18 seconds remain here with the timeout. UCLA down 21-7, trying to put some points up on the board. A touchdown would obviously be nice, but they're a bit of a ways out. What do you expect from UCLA on this next play?
That was 18 seconds and no timeouts, 3rd and 4. This pass cannot be short of the sticks. That is the one thing that you know. You do have the full field to work with, but if you do throw it and it's in the middle of the field, you better get up on that ball and clock it. Ideally, you're reading from the outside in. Look for a corner route, look for that out, look for something to get to the first down on the outside and get out of bounds so that you do still have a couple shots at the end zone. But you need to come away with points here at UCLA. Matee, if he is allowed a chance here, can make this field goal. But honestly, UCLA wants a little bit more.
Definitely in range, getting towards a more comfortable spot for a kick if they elect to do so. Nico with 18 seconds, looking towards his right. He's going to fire that one towards the sideline. Catch and tackle made out of bounds. It was Rico Flores Jr. on the reception.
It's now going to be 4th and 4, and Matina's going to come out. I don't love that decision. Obviously, the check down. If Nico, throw that ball away. You see that defender coming? That almost could have been a clock running.
We're going to elect to kick here.
Cash Peterman, the holder. Matine back to kick. Little bit of a low snap.
That's going to be good for UCLA. No good. I thought it went through. No good, just wide leg.
It looks good from here. Like I said, it was a little bit of a low snap, which made Peterman double clutch the ball. Like I said, it's all about the timing with these kickers. If it's a bad snap or a bad hold, throws off the whole rhythm of a kicker. That is monumental for UCLA. Huge break for the Cornhuskers.
UCLA loses the possibility of adding 3 points, making this a 10-21 game. And now the Huskers with the ball at about the 30-yard line. We'll expect them to kneel, and they will take a knee. Both teams will head to the tunnel for halftime. Shane, what do you make of that first half?
If you're a Nebraska Cornhuskers fan, you could not ask for anything more. Your quarterback, KJ Lateef, is playing perfect. Not doing too much, but doing just enough to get this ground game going. Emmett Johnson and that O-line have been dominating up to this point. UCLA has had no answer for them. This is going to be a demoralized team going into halftime. And unless UCLA can make this some changes, it's going to be a very scary place to be for a Bruin fan.
We'll step aside for halftime. We will come back just before kickoff. Nebraska set to get the ball here. We'll step aside. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in a few. Welcome back to UCLA Sports Radio. Sorry if I scared you there. We're starting back up here, getting ready for the second half. The score 7-21. UCLA currently trailing Nebraska here at the Rose Bowl. What do you think of this matchup so far, Shane? What do you think UCLA needs to do in this second half? They're kicking off the ball, so they're starting on defense. What do you make of that?
Yeah, like I said, UCLA just came out soft. Nebraska could not have had a better start to this game with that stop on the opening drive for the UCLA Bruins, and then following it up with a touchdown. And they've just dominated, gone 3 for 3 on their drives in the first half. UCLA hasn't shown the ability to stop them yet, so we'll see what adjustments the Bruins made. And I keep saying it, get some pressure on this guy. Latif is too comfortable back there for a freshman quarterback. Maybe this guy's the next Brady, but I doubt it. Come on, get some pressure on this guy and force him to make some errant throws.
Kick goes out of the end zone. Nebraska onto the field. The offense coming on. Latif so far perfect. 6 for 6, 119 yards through the air, 2 passing touchdowns. And boy, I mean, this offense has just been lethal, especially with the combo of Latif and Johnson. Johnson, the team's lead rusher and receiver. Yeah, a touchdown in each category.
When you have a name like Emmett and you play the position of running back, man, you think of Emmitt Smith, one of the best running backs of all time. So when you have a name like Emmett, you better be good.
Nebraska going to start things off with a rush up the middle. That's good for a first down.
Terrible start for the UCLA Bruin front seven. This is not what you wanted as the first play coming out of half. Just a dominant play by that front seven for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. And Emmett Johnson, like he's barely getting touched, getting through to the second level. And he's just falling forward for yards every single play.
That'll bring up a fresh set of downs. 1st and 10. Nebraska on the 38-yard line. Latif takes the snap. Again, going to be a run play. This one towards the left side. That's good for about a gain of 6.
Yeah, number 6, John Vaughns. He was involved in that play. I would have liked to have seen him react a little bit quicker. He hesitated a little bit, and that allowed Johnson to get that extra push. UCLA, already you see the adjustments switching from a 2 deep safeties to just having one back there and loading up that box. Like I've been saying, they should have gone earlier in the second quarter.
John Vaughns, the redshirt senior out of St. John Bosco, has been with the Bruins his whole collegiate career.
It's like we got a Bruin down. He's talking to the trainers, and the trainers are going to take him off the field right now. Possibly checking him out for a concussion. Can't make out the number from up here. But UCLA, if they are losing another offensive lineman, that could be a very, or defensive lineman rather, should I say. That could be a big hole for this defense.
Looks like Jacob Busick, the transfer from Navy, redshirt senior.
And you know those boys from Navy know about the trenches, man. Army and Navy going head-to-head always. And those guys can run the ball and stop the run.
He's been great for the team. 3 tackles for loss and 1 sack. Looks like they tried to make UCLA jump there. Couldn't quite get the call. They'll hand it off one more time. This one up the middle, barreling towards that first down.
If you're Nebraska, why even pass the ball? If you're getting 4, 5, even 6 yards a carry, what's the point of putting it in your freshman quarterback's hands? Yes, he is settled into this game. He's played amazing. But don't make him do anything more than what he already has, right? You're up 21-7. You have the ball. You can make this a 3-possession game on this drive and almost put the game away early in the third quarter. We'll see what they do here.
Cornhuskers at midfield. Latif takes the snap. He wants to throw this time, looking every way, scanning the field. He's going to take off with it, keeps the ball heading towards the left sideline, makes his way out of bounds.
Great coverage on the back end from the Bruins here. The Bruins tried to bring pressure, didn't end up working. Latif had all the time in the world to make the throw. No one was open, and he decided to take it himself with his legs. Good play by Latif to not force anything stupid there. This freshman quarterback is playing great football right now, just system football.
Huskers back up to the line now, 2nd and 3. They've cracked Bruin territory on the 44-yard line. Quick pass over to the left. That's one. Looks to be good for a first down. Quickly tackled, but able to get the yardage necessary.
Yeah, I love that play call by Nebraska. Just get it out to your receivers who haven't really been a big factor in this game, except in the blocking game. Like I said, great blocking. But he was tackled hard by Jacob Busick, who was just taken out a few plays later. Or plays ago, I should say.
First and 10 now, just behind the Bruin 40-yard line. We're going to get some whistles here. They're going to call it dead.
It's going to be a timeout for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication. Didn't like what they were seeing there. Call the timeout. Don't make your freshman quarterback do too much. That has been the idea of the game for this team. When you lose a guy like Raiola, and a lot of people like to hate on Raiola because he looks like Patrick Mahomes, acts like Patrick Mahomes, sometimes even plays like Patrick Mahomes. But missing Raiola is a vital and big part of this offense. And TJ Lateef has stepped in to a very big role that in big shoes that he's had to fill, and he's done great so far in his first collegiate start.
Like I mentioned, perfect so far. 7 for 7, 123 yards, 2 passing touchdowns. He's just been doing everything they need him to do.
Yeah, exactly. This offensive coordinator has been calling great plays for him. Dana Holgerson, in his first season as an offensive coordinator, is calling a great game. Nebraska, be happy about TJ Lateef. The future of your program, if you're able to keep him in this new era of NIL, your future is pretty bright. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what UCLA is able to do here coming out of this timeout. Like I said previously, this defense has been gashed time and time again. Not even just this game, but this season, these past couple games, even the ones that they've won, this defense has not stepped up. The best game that they played was that Maryland game. And that was because their front seven was able to stop the run and made the Maryland quarterback actually have to throw the ball and test these corners who played amazing. We'll see what they're able to do here.
Like you mentioned, in the landscape of today's college football game with NIL and transferring, you really have to fight to hold on to the guys that you already had. Before, you had to recruit out of high school. Now you have to fight to keep on the guys that you recruited.
Yeah, having no sanctions or rules with the NIL has really changed the landscape of college football in today's game. A lot of the old-timers, like Nick Saban, retired because of this new era of NIL. And it kind of makes you wonder what the future of this game is going to look like because of that. A lot of recruiting for lower 3- and 2-star players are going JUCO or not even getting recruited because as a player, as a coach, you look at Indiana, who was able just to recruit, not from high school, but from other colleges. You look at teams like Oregon that are built on that. Even Colorado. So we'll see what this next era of NIL for college football looks like as Nebraska is coming out of the timeout looking to score to go up by 3 touchdowns.
Nebraska back up to the line of scrimmage now. First down. Ball positioned at the 41-yard line of UCLA. They'll motion the tight end. Rolling out to his right, stands in the pocket, delivers a pass to an open man down the field towards the end zone. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Emmett Johnson, have yourself a day and dance, buddy, dance. Just a terrific play call. Nobody accounted for the running back coming out of the field. Number 6, it was John Vaughn who was supposed to make the play. Could not make it. Don't make it too difficult, and that's exactly what Nebraska did. He could not have had an easier throw than that one. Just a terrific play call to now put them up 27-7 at the moment. We'll see with the extra point, but most likely 28-7.
The snap here on the extra point.
Thought I jinxed it for a second, but it is good. 28-7 now.
28-7 coming off of the back of Emmett Johnson and his 3rd touchdown of the game. 2 receiving, 1 rushing.
Emmett Johnson is solidifying himself as one of the top backs in the Big Ten. A lot of scouts are here today, possibly looking at him. He is a junior, could declare for the draft if he wanted this season. We'll see if he decides to come back with Raiola to try and run it next year. But if you're UCLA, that is a terrible drive that you just had go against you. Coming out of half, you needed to stop there for some momentum. And if UCLA is not able to score on this drive, this game is all but over.
UCLA going to have to rely on the offense here to make up some ground. Down 7-28. So we get ready. UCLA to receive the kick. A pretty quick opening drive for Nebraska. Only 3 minutes, 16 seconds time. 75 yards. Only took them 6 plays to get into the end zone.
Yeah, time is not on UCLA's side. And if you're UCLA, trying to establish the run game might be out of reach at the moment. You still want to keep them honest, right? You still want to be getting a couple plays there, get a couple runs, get some first downs. But it's almost that time where you got to just let Nico air it out. Not quite, but we're reaching that point. If they don't score on this drive, they're going to be going no huddle for the rest of this game.
About 2 minutes left until we get set to kick things off.
We'll see what Nebraska decides to coming out of half, what adjustments they made. Don't have to make too many adjustments. I'm all about bringing pressure on the defense and trusting those back guys. Their DBs are insane. They've been playing great this season. If they're able to bring pressure, like the 3-3-5 allows you to do, that 3-3-5, the exotic blitzes that you can bring that rover down and have them play in the box and allow those linebackers to free up and blitz off the edge. You can bring that nickel in on a corner blitz, where on Nico's blind side, we've seen that a couple times so far. We'll see what they elect to do coming out right now. But this Nebraska defense has played very, very well. And UCLA has had no answers.
What do you think UCLA is going to try to do on this drive? You know, you're down by a boatload. What kind of plays are you expecting to see?
Obviously, you need to get this ground game going, like I said. You need a little bit of momentum. You have to keep them honest. But we haven't seen UCLA try and push it down the field too much. Get some one-on-one matchups going. Allow your guys like Gilmer and Rico to go make plays. That's what those guys are here for. These guys are talented. But Nico just hasn't been able to find him down the field. Some errant throws from him on his side. Some due to pressure. Some due just to him overthrowing him. Nico has got to step up and play well. And we'll see if Nico's legs can carry them any farther. But look for some short dump-off passes just to get him in rhythm. And if they get into a second and short scenario, look for them to take that deep shot.
UCLA only has 64 yards passing. Their leading receiver, Rico Flores Jr., only 14 yards in the game. They really have not been doing it through the air.
Well, a plus side of that is with your leading receiver only being at 14 yards and you having 64 yards, at least you're spreading the ball out a little bit, right? But definitely with the talent that these guys have.
Big one for the return along the sideline, able to stiff arm a man and get it out at about the 30-yard line.
Yeah, J.D. Thomas, that was a great play from him right there. Just to hit the sideline a little bit, get a little bit of juice going for this sideline. That's what this team needs. A little bit of a stutter step when he was first taking that ball and was able to get a nice stiff arm and truck the kicker a little bit. Got to show the kickers a little bit of love. They can hit too, all right.
Able to force him out of bounds as UCLA starting field position at their own 30-yard line. Nico motions a man over on the right side. That's where he's looking to throw. Rolling, trying to find someone, looks downfield, and completes a pass in between two defenders, just past the outstretched arm of the Nebraska defensive back.
Great play call by Jerry here. Get Nico rolling out of the pocket to his right, just a simple levels flood concept. Receiver settles down in the zone, be able to find him.
Back up to the line. It looks like they might have had some miscommunication there, and Refs are going to talk about it so far. Ball on the 50-yard line.
Yeah, UCLA tried to get up to the line quick, run a quick play, but it was quickly snuffed out by the Nebraska defense. However, it looks as though some sort of penalty.
Flag against the Nebraska defense. This is going to push UCLA up to about the 43-yard line of Nebraska.
Missed the penalty there, but that's a big penalty, making it first down and 10 for the Bruins. What would have been a 2nd and 11 back on their own 50. It's now a 1st and 10 on the 36-yard line of the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Nico working with a fresh set. Gets blitzed and absolutely lit up behind the line of scrimmage. Big sack there for the Nebraska defense after the penalty.
Huge play. Immediate penetration by the Nebraska Cornhuskers defense, allowing Nico no time to even escape, which will bring it back to 2nd and long. Looking at about 2nd and, what is that, 18? Wow. Big blow for the UCLA Bruins and their offense.
Bruins forced back to the 45-yard line. 2nd down, 18 to go if they want the first.
Look for something here, coming out short in the flat.
Nico throws it over. Makes a man miss. Barreling towards the end zone, still on his feet. He's got one man to beat. Barrels into the end zone for the touchdown. UCLA.
What a terrific play by Anthony Woods. Nico dumped it off to him in the flat coming out of the backfield, and he had his blockers downfield, made a couple man miss, and it was lights out. Touchdown, UCLA Bruins. Huge play. Great job from Nico, not forcing anything down the field, and what a play from Anthony Woods to be able to take that and go 45 yards for the touchdown.
First bit of action that we've really seen from Woods so far, it's always been Thomas and Berger.
You can hear the fans getting back into it now as Mateen nails the extra point to make it 14-28. Some of the student section left, but it's still loud in here, and the UCLA Bruins are coming back. That was a great drive for the Bruins. Couple of miscues that almost halted the drive, but just a terrific play from Anthony Woods, a terrific blocking downfield to allow for the score.
Nebraska now only up by 2 scores, 28-14. Still 9 minutes, 58 seconds left to go in the third. UCLA defense really going to need to hold this Nebraska offense really for the rest of the game.
Yeah, we'll see what adjustments they can make. I mean, they didn't make many adjustments coming out of half, right? They switched to that single high safety, and just some miscommunication led to that errant touchdown where Emmett Johnson was wide open coming out of the backfield on a wheel route. We'll see what adjustments they made in that little short time that they had, but UCLA needs to get it. They haven't stopped Nebraska offense once. Nebraska is 4 for 4 on their drives for touchdowns. Just efficiency from this quarterback, this young freshman quarterback, TJ Lateef, unheard of at the collegiate level.
Especially true when you take in all the factors. Raiola out. This is his first game. A true freshman, not a redshirt, a true freshman playing in his first collegiate game, and then just playing outstanding.
Yeah, especially playing here in front of so many family and friends the last 2 weeks. Probably a lot of family and friends at the USC game as well. He wasn't asked to do too much in that previous game, but he's just played amazing tonight. Hasn't had too much pressure in his face, and when he has, he's gotten the ball out quick or been able to roll out. The Nebraska Cornhuskers have allowed 27 sacks this season coming into the game, and have really limited that to them.
Lateef, 8 for 8, 163 yards, 3 touchdown passes, 100% completion rate. I want you to guess his QB rating.
Oh my gosh, it's got to be up there, 130s, 140s.
Try 394.
Oh my gosh, this guy, this young man is playing out of his mind in the most iconic stadium in college football, the Rose Bowl.
Of
What a
course,
start.
a small sample size, but still just an unbelievable way that he's been playing in just 4 drives.
Yeah, but that stat, though it is impressive for him, it's more impressive for that quarterback, or for the offensive coordinator. This offensive coordinator has just made terrific play calls to make it easy for TJ Lateef tonight.
Emmett Johnson over 100 yards receiving. He's got 103. He's getting up there in rushing yards, 75. Got a touchdown on the ground and 2 through the air. As we get set for the Bruins to kick it back off to the Huskers.
Could we possibly be watching the coming out party for TJ Lateef, the next great Nebraska Cornhusker quarterback? We'll see.
Well, they can't play too, so we'll see what happens after this season with him and Raiola. Might be a bit of a battle.
We'll see. Raiola obviously coming back from that fibula injury is always tough. Those you never want to see your quarterback go down. But it's not a bad problem to have when you have a guy like TJ Lateef now playing amazing ball. But the hardest part is going to be, like I said, keeping him at Nebraska in this era of NIL. A lot of teams are going to be looking at this and offering him immediate playing time. So it's really just TJ Lateef value sitting behind Raiola and learning. We'll see. We saw guys like Dante Moore, who even played here at UCLA, do that.
Now a run to the right for Nebraska, going to get brought down. Tackle made by Jalen Woods, the linebacker, also out of St. John Bosco High School, just like John Hans.
Yeah, just a great play there. And going back to what I was saying about Dante Moore, obviously Dante Moore played here at UCLA his freshman year, didn't play amazing. He transfers to Oregon, sits behind Taylor Gabriel last year, and then now is at the helm for the Oregon Ducks. He's playing all right, too.
Huskers looking at a 2nd and 6 here. They'll motion the man over. Again, going to stick with the run play and we'll break that one out to get the first down for the Huskers.
The way he's able to move, Emmett Johnson, this running back will be playing on Sundays. So if you are playing in a fantasy league, make sure to grab him off the waiver wire if he enters the draft this year. Next year, look for a guy named Emmett Johnson out of Nebraska, because this guy has a nice juke move and a nice cut. He's quick on his feet and is single-handedly carrying this game for the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
First down here, Lateef going to hand it off again, making his way through. Going to get brought down after a gain of about 4 yards.
And Nebraska's offense is just a beauty to watch. A lot of motions, a lot of pulling guards and tackles that get the blockers out in front of the running back. It makes it hard for the defenders to crack. This is why it's so important for the linebackers to be rallying to the ball, all 11 hats on the ball, because if you don't, Johnson is going to be taking that thing to the end zone.
Second here, 5 to go. Lateef going to keep it himself. Almost brought down. Finally going to get brought down. Looks like about to be a half yard behind the line of scrimmage.
Tackled a little bit awkwardly there by number 4, Key Lawrence. He tried to give a little spin move on him, and Key Lawrence had to wake him up a little bit that this is no longer high school. This is college football. And he got a little bit rocked there in the back, and that one, he's going to fill that one tomorrow morning. Nonetheless, it's now 3rd and about 5. The Nebraska Cornhuskers, UCLA, this is a big stop if they're able to get it right here to get back in this game.
Huskers on their own 43-yard line. UCLA trying to bring up 4th down here. Lateef to throw. He's got one over across the middle. Makes a man miss. He's got it out past the 50-yard line, and that's good for a first down. Unfortunate for UCLA.
Yeah, UCLA thought they were going to bring the blitz, showed it a little bit, and then dropped out into zone. I don't love the play call here. Nebraska with just a simple mesh concept, just a simple crossers for Lateef just to find the open man. Does it, and they're able to pick up the first down.
First down now, ball on the right side of the hash. This one, a run up the middle. The pile will move about 2, maybe 3 yards.
Now for UCLA, it's getting chippy, like I was talking about in that first half. It's getting a little bit chippy. You cannot be making those mental errors right now. Keep your guys in check if you're UCLA. Nebraska is more than fine running out this clock as we're approaching 6 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Nebraska taking their time, coming in and out of the huddles.
Six minutes to go here, 2nd and 7. Another rush. Similar result there, about 3 yards.
Yeah, just a great play right there by the UCLA defense to be able to stop the run right there. This is bringing up a 3rd down and long. 3rd and 5 on the 42-yard line. A little bit far out of field goal range for a college kicker. Probably see them go for the punt here if they are not able to pick it up. But if UCLA needs to get off the field, they didn't bring the blitz last time. Look for them to bring some pressure from those middle linebackers right there. They're spread out a little bit. No one's covering the top receiver. They drop out in coverage.
Over the middle, that's complete. They're going to get blown up before the line to gain. A big tackle for UCLA made by Lawrence. He's been all over the place on this drive.
What a play. Like I said, Nebraska loves to run the same plays. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They run this same crossing route, and it is sniffed out by the UCLA Bruin defense. That is a huge stop that pushes them back. It's now 4th and 6.
First time Nebraska's had to utilize the punt. This one up. Takes a really good bounce for Nebraska.
There was a beauty, but it sadly went out. Touched just out of bounds at the 10-yard line. But if it didn't, that thing was going to be stopped inside the 1-yard line.
Just grazing that boundary line. Yeah, you're right. If it stayed in, that would have been hitting the Bruins back within their own 5. 4 minutes, 33 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Big stop by UCLA. What do you expect to see out of them on this drive? 14-28.
Yeah, UCLA just needs to continue to keep the ball in the air at this point. UCLA has not had too much success on the ground. Obviously, you want to keep them honest, like I've said before. But allow Nico to make some plays. And it's really going to come down to this offensive line. Can this offensive line give him time? Because we saw time and time again where UCLA was back behind the sticks. And that is not where you want to be, especially against a defense like Nebraska's. However, they were able to make a big play and score a long 45-yard touchdown. We'll see what the Bruins are able to continue to do here. And if they're able to get back in this game right now, oh my gosh, this is going to be a fun fourth quarter.
UCLA, 126 net passing yards. A lot of those coming from that previous scoring drive. Really were able to march down the field, and like you said, they need to be able to replicate that.
Exactly. UCLA, like I said, hasn't had too much success on the ground. Allow Nico to have those simple throws like they started the drive off last time with a simple flood concept. Go back to the basics. Sometimes, like I said, we can get a little too cute. Jerry Neuheisel, who is a great offensive coordinator, calls some great plays. Sometimes it's his first year actually calling plays. Can get a little bit too cute, a little bit too fancy. He's still trying to figure it out himself. We'll see what the Bruins do here coming out of this TV timeout. The fans are getting back into it, though. Shirts are coming off. We are getting into an electric atmosphere here at the Rose Bowl.
Bruins down by 14. 2 touchdowns brings them back to a tie. As long as they can hold that Nebraska offense, which they showed they can do on that previous drive.
Yeah, we'll see what happens right now coming out of here. But like I said, just allow Nico just to play football. He's been thinking too much and not reacting. The throws that he's made that have been good have been reactions. He looks at his first read, not there. Second read, not there. Dump it off. And sometimes Allow your players to go make plays. That's why you recruit these guys. These guys are athletes. These guys are players. Allow them to go make plays. And that's exactly what we saw out of Anthony Woods, making that 45-yard touchdown. Just a simple dump off in the flat. And if you're UCLA's defense, getting your first stop in the third quarter is not where you want to be. However, it's exactly where you need to be in the current state of this game.
UCLA back up, huddled. Nebraska defense ready for them. Whistle blows. They'll start on their own 10-yard line. 4 minutes, 33 seconds here to go. First and 10, ball on the 10.
Watch for some pressure at the top of the screen here.
They'll hand it off, heading towards the left, trying to make his way back towards the middle. That's good for a gain of about half, maybe a yard.
Not much of a gain there, but I don't mind it. Just get upfield and get some yards. Woods was able just to, there wasn't much there, and instead of trying to dance around and lose a couple yards, put his head down and just got forward. Fall forward. If you're a running back, that is your number one thing that you want to do, is just to fall forward.
4 minutes to go here. UCLA at the line. Second down, 8 to go for the first. Nico rolling out towards his left. Able to pass that over to Matthews. He gets tackled about a yard short of the line to gain.
Get Nico outside of the pocket. Have your tight end helping the blocking like they just did right there. Sealing off that edge, allowing Nico to roll out and find his receivers. This is where Nico will find his money throws.
UCLA breaks out of the huddle, trying to break out of their own 20-yard line. Nico looks like he kept it, might have gave it to the back, not quite sure.
Yeah, he kept that one. Again, he kept it, allowing for more time for the defenders to get there. I would almost handed it off there, because now UCLA is going to be forced to punt. Another 3rd and 1, where UCLA has had Nico keep the ball and not get it.
4th and 1 here. The punt team comes on for UCLA. Quick drive for them, not much going on there. Going to be a 3 and out. Although maybe we see some sort of trickery, some sort of fake. USC today put in their, I think it was the 3rd string quarterback at Hunter. They decided to fake it, and they went for it, and they got it.
Yep. You'd think that UCLA's offense would be coming out here, maybe possibly going for it on a 4th and 1 right now. However, back up at your own 20, probably not the smartest decision. UCLA's use of a timeout here. Maybe some miscommunication on where they wanted this ball. But we'll see what Will Carroll back there is able to do. He's got a leg, and he's got to flip the field for the Bruins right now. The worst thing you can do is give a bad punt in great field position to a Nebraska Cornhuskers offense that has only been stopped once.
After the timeout, punt team still on for UCLA.
Nebraska not bringing many guys, just has their base defense almost out there right now.
And it looks like it will be a fake. We'll see if they got it. Pushing the line, getting over to the right.
It looks good to me. It is a UCLA Bruins first down. The fake punt, direct snap. He's able to barrel his way forward. That's what you need to do. Don't make it cute. Don't make it fancy. Give it to the big boy and just let him rumble.
I mean, how big is that for the UCLA momentum? Instead of getting away the ball after a lousy 3 and out, you're going to keep it. Got a fresh set of downs. And I mean, how big is that for UCLA?
You know, I personally would have rather taped the offense out there and have them run it. Give them some confidence. Special teams unit doesn't need any more confidence. But we'll see what they're able to do here.
Nico, he wants to throw it. That's going to get batted at the line of scrimmage.
What a terrific play by Keona Davis, the defensive tackle for Nebraska, getting up there and swatting the ball. It looked like Nico had a guy open on the corner route, but that was quickly stopped as the pass was deflected. Great play there.
Second down now, ball on the 21-yard line of UCLA, trying to build off of that momentum on the fake punt. UCLA lines up two receivers, motion one. Going to hand off the ball up the middle, and that's good for a sizable gain of about 8.
Terrific play call there from the Bruins, as it's getting a little bit chippy down there with those receivers. Pulling guard and tackle, allowing, taking a little page out of the Nebraska Cornhuskers book, as there's a Nebraska player down right now injured. But getting back to that was a terrific play call from Jerry. Just getting some blockers in front of his running back. That was the biggest hole that they've had pretty much all game for the running game. So.
And on that punt play, they actually brought in Jacob Busick, the player that was formerly walked off of the field on defense due to an injury. Snuck him in there for the fake punt play, and he actually took the ball and ran right for a gain of 2 yards, getting them the first down.
Yeah, Nebraska was not fooled on that fake punt whatsoever. But UCLA would not be stopped. He just put his head down and just kept his feet moving and rumbled. That's all you want out of your big guys right there. The Nebraska player, we cannot see who it is. He is still down on the field, getting checked out by personnel. Hope it's nothing too serious. But if you're UCLA, right now it's the third quarter, a minute 36 left in the game. This is exactly where you want to be as an offense at this current stage of the game. As the Nebraska Cornhusker player gets up, goes to his teammates. He's going to have to be taken off the field for a little bit for a play, but he looks like he's all right. But getting back to this is exactly where you want this offense to be, right? Third down and about 3. If you can score on this drive, get right back into it. We'll see what the Bruins would like to do right here. Do they go back to the ground game knowing that you're going to go for it on 4th down? Or try and find something in the flats? Do you catch them sleeping on defense? A little bit of a double move possibly up top. We'll see.
UCLA lines up receivers. Just a flag before the snap. We'll see.
It's going to be a false start on the Bruins. That is exactly what you cannot have. The difference between a 3rd and 3 and a 3rd and 8 is astronomical, especially on your own side of the field. You cannot be making these mental errors.
That's going to push the Bruins back 5 yards, 3rd and 8, ball on the 23-yard line. We'll see how they change things up here now. UCLA lines up 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Actually looks like they're switching things up now after Jerry tells them to. This one, Nico going to take it himself, rolling out to the left, trying to direct traffic, and that's going to get batted as he tries to go for a late throw.
Again, they try to go with that levels concept to the boundary of the field, the long side of the field, rolling to his left, and nobody was open. Nebraska was not fooled and was able to deflect the pass. Now, what was going to be a 3rd and 3 turned into a 3rd and 8. Now 4th and 8, and they're going to be forced to punt yet again.
Don't think we're going to see any sort of trick plays for the second time in a row. Nebraska definitely going to be wary of anything fishy going on. The snap and the punt is up.
Not a pretty one.
Fair catch signal corralled in at the 35-yard line of Nebraska. So the fake punt play works out for UCLA, but ultimately you're going to have to punt it off anyways.
Yeah, not a great series of offensive plays right there for the Bruins. Tried to go back to that flood concept multiple times on that drive. Wasn't there. We'll see what this Nebraska Cornhuskers offense is able to do.
Nebraska still a perfect 10 for 10 on passing, have not missed a completion for any attempts. Latif going to hold on to it, trying to make something happen. Going to get tackled after about a gain of 2 yards, rolling out to the left.
Yeah, UCLA's defense right there was able to make a good stop. Good play from their linebackers to snuff that out from Latif, because Latif has got some wheels on you. Let me tell you, that guy can run. That's the worst thing that you want to do if you are the Bruins, to allow him to run. Nebraska doesn't have to run another play before the end of the third quarter, and it doesn't look like they will. Looks like they're going to wind this clock down all the way into the fourth quarter. It's going to be 28-14 going into the fourth quarter with the Nebraska Huskers having the ball. Will UCLA be able to come up with a stop here? Get the ball back and allow their offense to go and prove to the rest of the UCLA community that they can be a force to be reckoned with. We'll see.
So far in this game, Nebraska scored 7 in the first, 14 in the second, and then 7 in the third. UCLA, no score in the first, 7 in the second, 7 in the third. About 4 minutes until we get back to the action. We'll have 15 minutes for UCLA to surmount some kind of comeback.
Yeah, this is going to be a big couple of plays right here for the UCLA Bruin defense. Can they come up with something? I keep saying it. Bring some pressure. They have failed to bring pressure on this quarterback. Allow your DBs to make some plays. That is going to be the biggest game changer for the Bruins. If they're able on the second and third down, bring an all-out blitz, cover, just run cover one. Bring those guys, bring those linebackers down, and we'll see what they're able to do. Now, the time they did bring the blitz, Emmett Johnson was able to leak out of the backfield and score that touchdown. Play assignment football, and you're going to be just fine. We'll see what the Bruins do here.
UCLA, a measly 6 sacks on the season, have not been great at bringing that pressure, like you said.
Yeah, that is a game changer. When you are going up against one of the teams that gives up the most sacks in the nation, they're up there. 27 sacks they've given up from coming into this game. And you haven't been able to get too much pressure on this quarterback who still hasn't thrown an incomplete pass. He's entering the fourth quarter not having thrown an incomplete pass. This is amazing. He is playing way above what you expect out of a true freshman quarterback. And the entire nation should keep their eyes on TJ Latif in his future career, in his first ever start.
Like we talked about earlier, might be some competition between him and Raiola. And certainly there's a team out there that is in Nebraska that would love to have either one of those guys.
I'd be very shocked if they moved on from Raiola, but who knows? In today's day and age, if you have a guy that's balling out, play the guy that's balling out. You think of the situation the 49ers had with Brock Purdy when he came in, and he played amazing. And now Brock Purdy's making all that money. Obviously, it's a little bit different here at the collegiate level, but now with what the guys are making, could force Raiola to possibly go to a bigger school. We'll see if some teams can entice some money his way, but right now the Nebraska Cornhusker fans should be ecstatic about the plays that this quarterback has made tonight and the plays that this offensive line has made. This offensive line has stepped up for Emmett Johnson.
The UCLA home crowd getting ready for this fourth quarter of action. We get set here, about a minute left until these two teams take the field for the final quarter.
Yeah, just a great series so far for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. We'll see what they're able to do. Now they're heading into the north end zone. So we'll see if they're able to pick up, it's now 2nd and 8. What they're able to do on this next play. Just keep the ball on the ground. Line up those receivers out wide. Make them respect the pass. And just allow your big boys to go to work.
For UCLA, their leading receiver still Flores Jr. Only 4 receptions, 31 yards.
See what the Bruin defense can do right here. Right now, it looks like it's going to be a heavier set. 2 tight ends on the field right now for Nebraska.
Nebraska rolling out towards the right, throwing this one towards the sideline, and that's a complete pass, good for a first down.
What a throw from TJ Lateef with pressure in his face, throwing a timing out route. Perfectly on the money. He's not even just rolling out. He's rolling backwards. He's throwing this on his back foot. This is an impressive throw, 20 yards down the field. That is not a throw that a freshman quarterback is normally making at the collegiate level. Yet, here is TJ Lateef still not having thrown an incomplete pass in the fourth quarter.
Lateef takes the snap. They're going to keep this one on the ground. And that's going to be Johnson making his way towards the right side of the field. We'll see if they give him the first down. Look to be maybe a bit short. Could have gotten there, though.
Emmett Johnson, just a patient runner with the ball. Waits for those pulling tackles and guards to come in front of him. Gets some hands on the defender. And just finds the right hole.
14 minutes here. A minute has gone by. It looks like they're not going to get the first down. Second down, 1 yard to go. Ball on the 45-yard line of UCLA.
If you're UCLA, you cannot allow them to get past the 35-yard line.
Had some pressure there, forced the incomplete pass, and that's the first for Nebraska. Lateef feeling some pressure coming from that right side.
I feel like I jinxed it a little bit. We were talking him up so much. Little bit of an errant throw right there for the Nebraska Cornhuskers, looking for another screen. It's now going to be 3rd and short right here, and it looks like they're going to quickly get under center.
3rd down, 1 yard to go. Trying to punch this one up the middle, and of course they're going to get it. Gain of about 3 yards, and that's going to be good for a Huskers first down.
Just no penetration from that UCLA defense. Every single Nebraska Cornhusker offensive lineman is 3 to 4 yards down the field, just absolutely dominating the line of scrimmage. If you're able to do that, play in and play out, that is the most demoralizing thing for a defense, especially when it's been happening for 3 quarters.
First down clock soon to hit 13 minutes. They've wasted 2 so far in the fourth. Lateef's going to hand off the ball, and that's going to get blown up behind the line of scrimmage. A tackle for loss by the UCLA defense, and boy, did they need that.
Safety Cole Martin just flying off the edge, just grabbing the ankles of Emmett Johnson, bringing him down back behind the line of scrimmage. This is the play that you need. Now it's going to be 2nd and long, 2nd and 12, 2nd and 13 for this Nebraska offense. The play that UCLA needed right now. So UCLA needs to come up on these next 2 plays, or else this game's going to be out of reach.
Big tackle by Cole Martin. Now 3.5 tackles for loss on the season.
Watch for some crossers here.
Lateef, he wants to throw this one over the middle and out of the hands of his intended receiver. Had a nice throw to an open man, just couldn't come down with it.
Yeah, it's a great throw into a tight window for Dane Key, wide receiver Dane Key. He could not make the catch. He's got 25 receptions on the year so far. He's a senior. He cannot be making those mistakes right now, forcing what would have been a 2nd and short into a 3rd and long. Big play right here for the UCLA defense.
3 receivers to the left. We're going to tight end on the right for Nebraska. Lateef making some adjustments, talking to his line. Going to go back a second time. They'll bring the tight end closer. Lateef going to give it to the back, and they're not going to get it. UCLA with a big 3rd down stop.
Yeah, this would be a deep kick for the Nebraska Cornhuskers, and it looks like they're going to send out their punting unit. Yeah, they will. This is a hard kick for anybody. It's not Cam Little out there, all right? The kicker for the Jaguars kicking that 68-yarder. It's not. This is college football. So looks like they're going to bring out the punting unit here. Great stop for the UCLA Bruin defense. Coming after it here.
Nebraska with the punt going towards 10-yard line. That'll get corralled in couple yards short of the 10. It looks like a flag on the play.
Could have been interfering with the receiver. We'll see what the call is on the field. But if you're the UCLA Bruin defense, that is the exact stop that you needed and the exact momentum shift that you needed. It's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct call on the Bruins. Like I said before, the team that loses its cool is not going to win this game. UCLA cannot be having dumb penalties like that. It's a big penalty that is going to force him into the own 4-yard line. That completely changes the script. Now you're playing out of your own end zone.
Long way to go for this Bruin offense. They need 2 scores in order to tie things up. They've been doing an okay job of keeping Nebraska at bay. They've only scored 7 points so far in this half.
Yeah, just a couple great stops from the UCLA Bruin defense. Giving an opportunity to this offense to see what they can do. They got to pay it back somehow. It's going to be a 96-yard drive if they're able to convert, but don't want to take too much time off the clock here either. 11:33 left to go in this ball game. Down by 14 points. And you know, statistically, if they do score here, it does statistically say for you to go to 2. We'll see what the Bruins, if they score here, decide to do. If they decide to go for 2 or kick that extra point with the team.
What would you do if you scored? We'll just say you scored in about 3 minutes, 4 minutes. What would you do?
I'm kicking that extra point. I'm not one of the analytical guys that says to go for it on 4th and 6 or whatever. I'm more of an old school guy. Kick the extra point. If you score that touchdown and there's 30 seconds left to go in the game, go for that 2-point conversion. But not now. Now, if that was Dan Campbell on the other sideline right now, they'd probably go for 2 with about 8 minutes left to go in the game. But not me. I would get that extra point in. But first of all, we're talking about like they've already scored. This UCLA offense hasn't done too much, to be honest, up to this point. Only 14 points entering the 4th quarter. Had that big play just a quarter ago. Well, we'll see what they're able to do. It's going to be a big drive for them. Backed up at your own 4-yard line. It's a lot to ask out of an offense, especially out of an offense that's had an O-line and has just been struggling this entire game.
UCLA 133 net passing yards. Nebraska 181 for comparison. Nebraska came into that previous drive perfect on completions after that drive. They're 11 for 13. UCLA 12 for 21, only completing 57% of their attempts.
Whew. As an offense, that's a terrible stat to hear. But right now, stats do not matter. Nebraska, yeah, it was cool to have TJ Lateef throw his first incompletion in the 4th quarter. Great stat. But if they're not able to win this game, it's not going to mean anything. For the UCLA Bruins, Nico is not caring about his stats right now. He's caring about carrying his team 96 yards down the field in whatever way he can. We'll see what they can do right now, backed up in their own end zone.
Nico at the 4-yard line. They'll motion a man behind. Looks like they're going to keep it on the ground, and it looks like they're going to lose yardage there. Looks like they'll end up back at their own 2 now, a loss of 2.
What a terrific play by the linebacker, just shooting in there, tackling him behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 2. And that's what you cannot happen backed up at your own 4-yard line. And that just goes back to the dumb penalty. You cannot be having unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, especially when you're down by 14 points in the 4th quarter. UCLA is shooting themselves in the foot here now, 2nd and long.
2nd down, 12 to go if they want that first down. Really going to have to get this passing offense going. They'll keep it on the ground. This one, a rush to the left. That's good for the first down and out of bounds. A big gain there for the first down on the ground.
Yeah, just a great little stutter step by Davian Thomas, who's able to get the first down, make the first man miss, hit the sideline. It's going to be a UCLA Bruins first down. Just great blocking there. It was just pure speed that got him to that sideline. Tried a little bit of a stiff arm. He can make a little bit of a cute move, but.
Again, on the ground. This one not going to go very far. He'll be lucky to get it out to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of about half a yard. That'll bring up second down now.
Yeah, Javian Thomas a little bit slow to get up and is coming off of the field now. Something to monitor for the Bruins. But now it's going to be second down and about 9 for the Bruins. Look for something short here. Just a nice quick throw to get him in rhythm.
Thomas and Berger been the two main backs for UCLA. Nico feeling the pressure, able to elude it, running out towards the middle of the field and able to rush out just behind the line to gain for the first down.
Nico's pocket presence on that play was amazing. He was able to somehow, I don't know how, get out of that sack with a nice little spin move. And he was hit a little bit late, though, by number 21, Rex Guthrie. For the Nebraska Cornhuskers, came in a little bit late. Could have been flagged, but Nico with a first down for the Bruins.
They'll give him the yardage for that first down. First and 10. Nico to the left, able to complete a pass for the first down, and then a gain of about 5 after.
Great play call. Get it out, quick to your receiver, get a throw in. These DBs are playing back. They're playing soft. They are not respecting anything underneath. Take what the defense gives you. That's all Nico can do. Outside linebacker couldn't get out in the flats fast enough. Corner was too deep. Just a great play for another first down for the UCLA Bruins.
Clock still running. About 8:45 here left to go in the game. UCLA still down 14 points. Flags on the play before we can get a snap off.
So it's going to be a false start on the Bruins. And a false start. It's these penalties. It's these pre-snap penalties, after-play penalties that are killing the UCLA Bruins. Getting behind the sticks, especially when you're down, is not a winning culture.
The majority of the penalties in this game have gone against UCLA. This one going to bring them back 5 yards. They're looking at a first down and 15 yards. From the 46, Nico rolling out to the right. That one out of bounds, way out of the reach of his intended receiver, and just had to get rid of it.
Yeah, he was looking deep there for Rico Flores Jr. And Rico was open for a second, but I would have liked to have him take that shorter route. It was a flood concept again with the slot receiver running out, Rico running that deep corner. And he just tried to get too much there. Now it's going to be second down and 15. And because of that penalty, now you're almost in a pass scenario. You have to pass it. Well, we'll see. Who knows what Jerry's got cooking up back there, but.
Nico so far 150 yards through the air. Going to try to do it the same this way. Over to the right. Complete pass, but only for about 5 yards.
Yeah, it was a great blitz pickup. The Nebraska Cornhuskers brought up the blitz, but a great blitz pickup by Anthony Woods. He's in a pretty good or big game, had that big touchdown, a couple good blocks here, a couple good runs. But now it's going to be third down and long for the Bruins, and this is a fourth down situation. You have to go for it. So no matter what, you need to get 5 or 6 yards on this play. You cannot have a negative play or a play for 0 yards here.
7 minutes, 30 seconds left on the clock here. 3rd and 11. Bruins at midfield. Nico feels the pressure, able to elude it, move it all around, has a lot of open space, and he's going to fire it downfield. That's good for a first down. Completion of about 25 yards.
Just a simple scramble drill. Mikey Matthews coming across the middle of the field. Notice that Nico was feeling the pressure rolling out to his left, changed his route and rolled with him, allowing for him to throw it to him, pick up that first down. Big play. And now it's going to be a timeout by the Cornhuskers.
Huge throw from Nico there. And on that play, he really could have done anything, right? He had a lot of open field. He was kind of just holding that defender there for a split second. Decided to throw that ball, had an open man, but either way, he could have taken off on that play.
I totally thought he was going to take off, and then I saw Mikey Matthews go back across, plant his foot in the ground, seeing his quarterback was in duress, and got open. That's just chemistry right there. That's what you find in the off season. That's what you need to get. Just a great play right there from Nico and the rest of the team. To set them up now, 1st and 10, inside the 26-yard line of the Nebraska Cornhuskers. And the Nebraska Cornhuskers forced to use a timeout here because the Bruins have been driving. There have been time and time again where they have gotten them in 3rd and long situations, and they have still not been able to convert, or stop them, rather, should I say. Now, the refs are looking at something here.
Not quite sure what they're looking at. Still, though, on that play, Nico, 178 yards, getting close to matching Latif's yardage. We have a statement from the refs here.
Still not too sure what they were reviewing there, if it was a targeting call. They didn't really see anything. One day we'll have the technology to know what they actually called. We'll see. But nonetheless, a great play from Nico and the rest of the UCLA offense, including Mikey Matthews getting open on that play for them, setting them up for a crucial drive coming up here. We'll see what the Bruins are able to do. They do have a little bit of life. Not much, but they have a little bit of life. And with 7 minutes to go left in the half, if they do end up scoring here, like we said at the beginning of this drive, it's been a 4-minute drive up to this point. Do they go for 2? I don't know. We'll see. There's a reason why I'm up in the booth and not calling plays on the field right now.
In terms of receiving for UCLA, Rico Flores Jr. leads the pack, 6 receptions, 52 yards. He's followed by Mikey Matthews, 2 receptions for 31 yards.
Yeah, UCLA has just played terrific up to this point right now on this drive. We'll see what they're able to do. But the biggest story has been that front 7, like we said. Emmett Johnson has just gashed this defense. And the front 7 for that Cornhuskers have just been dominant. So we'll see what they're able to do here, if they're able to come up with a big stop. Now, Mateen's miss might come into play here. What would have been, if they get stopped here, still would have been a 1-score game. It would be 20-28. We'll see how that's going to factor into it, but obviously one play does not determine the game.
UCLA kind of playing a little bit of catch-up here. Net total yards, 322 compared to Nebraska's 325. So they're starting to get up there and match what Nebraska's been putting down the whole game. Net passing yards, 178 for UCLA, 181 for Nebraska. So they're starting to climb up there at the turn of the half. At the end of the first half, Nebraska kind of dominating the game, but UCLA really bringing it to them in the second half.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see what UCLA is able to do here right now, coming out 1st and 10 on the 26-yard line. Almost entering the red zone of the Cornhuskers.
UCLA back up in the huddle. They'll break out to the line of scrimmage. 7 minutes to go here. 1st and 10. Nico dropping back. Flag on the play. He's going to get brought down for a sack. But there are flags. We will see who they call this on.
It's in the area of a holding call. Illegal formation. It's going to be on UCLA. Receivers might not have been set on that play. But yeah, the flags just went flying immediately. It's going to back them up. Nebraska's played a pretty clean game up to this point, only having 1 accepted penalty. UCLA, on the other hand, has had a couple. And that's the difference in there right now in the game.
Looks like Nebraska's actually going to decline the penalty. And they'll take the sack, and it'll remain 2nd down. 2nd and 14, ball on the 32-yard line.
It'll help the stat sheet a little bit, but
Nico, he wants to throw. Short pass here behind the line of scrimmage, and he'll get out back to the original line of scrimmage before the sack. Good for a gain.
yeah, Anthony Woods right there dumping off to him in the flat. Looking for a little bit of magic again like they had on that previous drive, but UCLA not able to get anything going here so far. Now going to be 3rd and long for the Bruins. A field goal does you no good right now with 6 minutes left. You need to get at least 4 or 5 yards here on this play to make it manageable.
3rd down, 10 to go for the first. Just under 6 minutes to go here. Nico trying to get it done with his arm, rolling out to his left. He's got room, finds a lane up the middle. He's got the first down with his legs. Good run by Nico there.
Yeah, great blocking downfield by his receivers, which allowed him to scramble around and get that first down. Nico's legs have been keeping UCLA in this game against Nebraska. Like I said in the beginning of the game, you don't want to make Nico be the hero. You don't want to have him feel like he has to do that. But when he does, he often comes up clutch. So now it's going to be 1st and goal for the UCLA Bruins with 5 minutes to go left in the game. 2 timeouts.
Nico now 86 rushing yards on the game after that 17-yard rush for the first down. Pass over to the flat, to the right, to the end zone. UCLA touchdown.
Big play for the UCLA Bruins to get into the end zone and make this a one-possession game. Exactly what you needed out of your offense. Just a simple dump off in the flats. And it is a touchdown for the Bruins.
Big play there by Nico, able to just take that short flat route. They're able to punch it into the end zone.
Yeah, Anthony Fry is the second with that score.
That's his 2nd touchdown of the season. His first came against Maryland. Here's the kick, and it's good.
Great drive right there for the Bruins. It was messy, but it ended in a score. And they did end up only going for 1. With 4 minutes and 54 seconds left to go in the game, 21-28. Can the UCLA Bruins come up with another stop, put some pressure on this freshman quarterback, TJ Latif, who hasn't been asked to do too much?
They were really rolling in that first half, Nebraska, with the offense, but they've kind of slowed down. The defense for UCLA has been coming up when they need them to. What do you expect Nebraska to try and pull out here?
Yeah, obviously you're going to start on the ground. If Nebraska comes out throwing, I would be shocked. If you are a betting person, bet all your money that Nebraska will run this ball this first play. However, if you're the UCLA Bruins, you need to get them behind the sticks here. 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9. Get them behind the sticks here. And force this quarterback to have to make some throws. Because he hasn't been asked to do too much. Play tight, play close to the line of scrimmage. And we'll see what they're able to do right now.
Nico so far in the game now, 17 for 25, 191 yards through the air. He has 86 on the ground and 2 passing touchdowns.
Nebraska's offense coming back onto the field here. Haven't had a couple great drives as of late. This UCLA defense has been stepping up, has found a 2nd win in the 4th quarter. But you know what they say, 4th quarter, finish. And that is exactly what these teams need to be doing. That is what is being talked to them in the huddle right now. Either team can win this game. It's about who wants it more. And there's no better time for either of these front sides for the teams, the trenches, to come up clutch for these teams. Will the D-line be able to get penetration, or will the Nebraska Cornhuskers be able to run it down, running out this clock and sealing the game? But a thing to keep in mind, UCLA does have 2 timeouts.
UCLA completing 63% of their passes, 85% for the Cornhuskers. Like you mentioned, probably going to start out on the ground. Do you really think that they're going to try and waste as much time as they can? Do you think they really want to get down and score?
Yeah, if you're Nebraska right now, you are thinking about the clock. The clock is your friend. UCLA has those 2 timeouts. They're probably going to try and use them before the 2-minute warning if they can. However, if they're not able to get them in a situation where it's smart to use those timeouts, look for Nebraska to take their time heading up to the line and just running out this clock. Allowing for that freshman quarterback just to hand the ball off to Emmett Johnson. This is if you're a Nebraska fan, though this second half has not really gone in your favor, This is the position that you want to be in. Right now with the ball in your hands, and specifically in Emmett Johnson's hands. Hit the ball into this man's hands and let him run. Just tell your offensive lineman to pick a guy up and move him.
Yeah, Johnson, 109 yards on 24 attempts and a touchdown rushing. He also has a pair of touchdowns receiving, but his longest rushing play has only been 13 yards. Really just the volume of touches he's been getting and his consistency. He's been averaging about 5 a play.
For sure, 5 yards a carry, especially when your long is only 13 yards, is a disgusting stat to hear if you're a UCLA fan. The Bruins need to be able to find an answer for him right now on this drive with 2 timeouts.
Bruins will kick this one along the ground. It'll take a couple of hops. Corralled in at the 10. Nebraska making their way towards midfield. Finally going to get brought down just shy of the 40-yard line.
There is a flag down at the top of the field after that squib kick.
Pretty good return for Nebraska if it stands. We'll see what they call here.
Possibly a holding call. It will be a holding call against the Nebraska Cornhuskers, which will wipe out that terrific return there by the Nebraska Cornhuskers. That would have had them have the ball at the 35-yard line. Now they're going to be stopped all the way back at what appears to be the 20. Those 15 yards are monumental, especially if you're UCLA trying to get the ball back after a punt.
Big break for UCLA there. What would have been a ball at the 40 now turns into a ball at the 24. As he gets the snap. We're going to keep it on the ground. Pretty good run, patient run. That's going to get out for about 9 yards.
Yeah, UCLA was able to get immediate penetration on that play, but it was due to the pulling guard and pulling tackle. Like I said, Nebraska loves to pull those guards and tackles and get some blockers out in front of there. And Emmett Johnson, just a patient runner, finds the hole, is able to burst through it. He's got a quick burst. Now making it a 2nd and short and in the exact position that you want to be as a Nebraska fan.
17 seconds on the play clock. 4 minutes, 10 seconds left on the game clock. Nebraska finally up to that line. 8 seconds left to get a play off. They snap the ball with 3 seconds. They'll hand it off up the middle. We'll see where they mark that. Pretty close, but it looks like it's going to be a first down.
Yeah, he fell forward on that play, as he always does. He finds a way, no matter how hard he's hit, to fall forward. And he was able to pick up the first down there, even though it was pretty close. If he didn't fall forward there, probably would have been looking at a 3rd and short, which, as a Nebraska fan, arguably, you would have rather had the 3rd and short to get that extra play in. But nonetheless, it's now 1st and 10 for the Cornhuskers, and as a UCLA defense, it's a reset, and you need to get a stop here right now. Get them behind the sticks if you can. Get immediate penetration from those linebackers.
3 minutes, 15 left to go here. We get a snap and a pass over the middle and a big hit by the safety, Key Lawrence.
What a hit. He's just been playing out of his mind today, just coming up and smacking these players. But a great throw and a great catch to even hold on to that ball. He knew he was going to get smacked coming across the field. And that was Dan Key, who had that drop earlier in the game. Makes up for it here on that slant route.
Comes up big for Nebraska, holding on to that. I thought for a second he might have dropped it, but strong hands, able to keep them in this 2nd down. 3 yards to go for the first. Nebraska out of the play action, rolling out to his right, and he's got an incomplete down the field and out of bounds just shy of the 40-yard line. A big first down throw.
Yeah, it was just a simple play-action pass, get TJ Lateef out on the run to find Isaiah Hunter, the receiver. We haven't called his name much this game. Getting involved right now, open down the field, and it was actually on Key Lawrence in coverage. UCLA brought some pressure, didn't end up working. Terrific play call from the Nebraska Cornhuskers to get their quarterback out on the run. Now it's going to be 1st down and 10, and UCLA is going to use a timeout, it looks like. right before the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes and 11 seconds left in this game. UCLA calls their second timeout, leaving them with only one.
Timeout by UCLA. You also have to factor in the kick. If Nebraska can get a kickoff, it's almost just as good as a touchdown.
Yeah, exactly. That would make it a two-possession game. And right now for UCLA, that's why they called this timeout now. There's no reason to keep it because if you give up a first down here, game's all but over. Call it now. You still have the 2-minute warning as a timeout. You need to get a stop right now. It is a 1st and 10. If you don't get them behind the line of scrimmage right now, it's going to be tough to stop them on 2nd and 3rd down.
Nebraska going to run this one, bouncing it out to the left. Has a lot of room. Going to get brought down up near the line. Might be just shy, maybe a half yard. We'll see where they mark this. Nonetheless, an impressive run from Nebraska.
And such a smart play by Emmett Johnson here to go down a yard before the first down. Right before the 2-minute warning. UCLA calls their 3rd and final timeout. It's now going to be 2nd and less than a yard. If Nebraska gets the first down here, the game's all but over. Just a terrific heads-up play by Emmett Johnson, the junior, who has his eyes set on the next level, the NFL level. Like I said, if you get him in fantasy in the next 2 years, whenever he decides to come out of college, he's going to be a sleeper for you, I'm telling you.
2 minutes, 3 seconds left on the clock as the teams reconvene back at the 33-yard line. Nebraska just a yard shy of that first down. And like you mentioned, they get that first down, it's all but over.
2nd down and short here. If this is a first down this next play, Nebraska can just kneel it out from here on out. They're in field goal range. Probably it'd be a far one. But it's a heavy set right now for Nebraska on 2nd and 1.
You got to think they're going to run the ball. Line up with 2 backs up the middle.
And it looks as if he got it. No penetration from that UCLA defensive line. Looked like there was a holding call that UCLA is fighting for on the edge.
I don't think they're going to.
But they're not going to get it. And it's now going to be the 2-minute warning. A minute 57 left. UCLA has no timeouts. 1st and 10 Cornhuskers. And that's all about going to do it for this game right now. UCLA just could not come up with the stops on defense when they needed to. The penalties have hurt them. Emmett Johnson has hurt them. And now Nebraska can just kneel this one out and call it a game.
Both teams on their sidelines. UCLA played a heck of a second half, especially when you compare it to the first half, but ultimately just might not be enough to await the two teams to meet back at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
UCLA only scored 7 in that first half. Nebraska scored 7 in the first quarter, and then 14 in the second.
Yeah, just a little too late for this UCLA team. We're able to get a few stops, but Nebraska ultimately is going to come up in the clutch when they needed to. And TJ Lateef, let's just talk about this quarterback performance tonight. No interceptions for him tonight, just playing out of his mind. Only have 2 incompletions, 3 incompletions. Whatever that stat was, he just played amazing.
Lateef, 13 for 15 on the night, 205 yards through the air, and 3 passing touchdowns. What a performance by the true freshman.
He's going to garner national attention with that stat line. And as a UCLA Bruins family, we look to the next game to see what answers we can have against the next opponents.
UCLA will play at Ohio State, the #1 team in the nation. That's on November 15th. That'll be a 4:30 game. And then they'll have their next home game on the 22nd of this month against currently number ranked 24 Washington. Time to be determined. Then they'll finish out the season in the Coliseum against the USC Trojans, currently ranked number 20. That'll be on the 29th, also of this month.
Yeah, these next couple of games for them is going to be very, very rough. Ohio State, that quarterback, Julian Sain, playing at a Heisman level right now at Carlsbad, California. Coming in, transferring from Alabama, playing with Jeremiah Smith and the rest of those guys. That offense is lethal, and that defense is stout. Ryan Day has his boys ready to play. The following week after that, Washington coming here. Washington, who just lost their wide receiver Denzel Washington today, is looking at also a future Heisman in Desmond Williams. That quarterback is playing out of his mind as Nebraska is going to be taking a knee to finish out this game here. Nebraska is going to get the win here today. UCLA trying anything they can, possibly could not. They tried to get the snap there a little bit, dive at the ball, but could not get anything going. Nebraska
coming up again, 1:40 left to go.
Yeah, just a great performance from Nebraska today. Just give it off for that offensive coordinator. He just called an amazing game for his quarterback, TJ Lateef. Made his throws simple, easy, and that is why the Nebraska Cornhuskers will fall coming out of here with a win.
They'll line up again. Take another kneel. Clock out 1 minute. That'll bring up third down.
Yep, just one more will do it. They're going to run this clock down as much as they can, right until it reaches 40. Get back on the ball, snap it, and this game is over. UCLA had no answer for them on defense. Found a couple answers on offense, but it wasn't enough.
With the victory, Nebraska will move to 7-3. They'll move to 4-3 in conference play. The Bruins will fall to 3-6. And they'll even up 3-3 in Big Ten play.
And with that snap right there, the Nebraska Cornhuskers have come into the Rose Bowl and beat the UCLA Bruins. Nebraska is running to the middle of the field and is talking trash. Like I said, this was a chippy game. Got to watch out for any extracurricular activities after the game, but it looks like everything is going to be just fine. The final score here in the Rose Bowl: UCLA 21, Nebraska 28.
UCLA falls to the Nebraska Cornhuskers after a disappointing defeat against Indiana. They're now on a 2-game losing streak. What do you think they can do next week against Ohio State playing in Ohio?
That is going to be one of the toughest environments that any of these guys will ever play in. The Shoe. Ohio State ranked #1 in the entire country. And this team is no joke. UCLA needs to come to play next week. It's going to be a tough one for them, especially on the defensive side of the ball with that high-powered offense where Ohio State also does not ask Julian Sain to do too much, similar to TJ Lateef. Just make a simple throw. Don't make a dumb mistake. And allow the playmakers to go make plays.
With that being said, thank you for joining us here on UCLA Sports Radio. My name is David Matamoroz.
And this is Shane Donovan.
Thank you for listening. Good night.